gave the book to Christians too. It says his words can't be erased. Surah 15:9, his promise in place. But if the Quran's the final say, it contradicts the Bible's way. If the Bible's true, Islam falls apart. A dilemma that tears at the heart. Surah 7:57 talks of prophecies, Muhammad's name in ancient decrees. Yet the Torah and Gospels disagree. No sign of Muhammad's prophecy. But if the Quran's the final say, it contradicts the Bible's way. If the Bible's true, Islam falls apart. A dilemma that tears at the heart. The Torah scrolls predate Jesus' time. The New Testament's truth in its prime. Teachings from disciples, close and clear, contradict what Muhammad brought near. But if the Quran's the final say, it contradicts the Bible's way. If the Bible's true, Islam falls apart. A dilemma that tears at the heart. Reconcile the words from long ago. The challenge lies where fate's winds blow. A dilemma set in ancient script. A question that won't easily be eclipsed. Truth revealed, can't disguise. Contradictions rise, open your eyes. They find words, they're not compromised. Uncover the lies, no compromise. Truth revealed, no more disguise. See the flaws, don't be blind. Divine words, they're not compromised. Uncover the lies, no compromise.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining us. My wife will be joining me eventually. She's taking care of some technical difficulties that I forgot to do. So my wife is covering for me. So today will be a bit of an odd time. This isn't normally when we stream, but I thought that this is something that definitely needed to be handled because those of you that were there at the last Seek and Share Truth conference knows that it basically ended with a debate that we had with between David, and this gentleman here, Daniel Haqiqatjou. I use the term gentleman lightly with this individual. So that being said, my wonderful wife shall be joining me shortly. 1 second. And there we go. Look at that. All nice and pretty. So, yep. So we had this conference. Daniel then did a live stream and said some pretty interesting things. Again, being generous, being nice. So, what's your opinion? And who are you?
I'm El. I run El ISO Elohim. I also run with my husband the Seek and Share Truth conferences in Ohio. This year was our third annual conference. It was our first year that we introduced debates via Modern Day Debate. We partnered with them, and it was definitely memorable. I will say that at the least. The Muslims are talking about it. It's shaking the Ummah. Daniel versus the Wahhabis or whatever he calls them. Pretty much.
There's not a lot of Muslims doing the reviews.
I don't know. I've seen several. Yeah. But it's interesting. It's essentially Daniel versus everyone who isn't Daniel.
Which I knew he was in a bad position when we were like, well, we can throw him a bone at least and allow him to be at our conference. And we're like, okay, well, you can get. So James offered him. And I said, sure. I knew he was in a desperate situation, so I figured he would take it. He did take it.
Yeah.
And now he's acting like we went to him begging, by the way, for him to come to our conference. And it's like, dude, you were the one that was desperate.
Yeah.
Let's get this clear here. We could pick other people. We picked you because we figured you would want to go with this?
I figured the Shrek apologist might want a chance to redeem his name, and sadly didn't go as he expected.
Nope. The fallout is hilarious as far as what he is now dealing with. So we'll go ahead and load up his video there. So we'll go through some of the information here that he says about the Seek and Share Truth Conference, his experience with it. But before we get to that, actually, my wonderful wife, would you like to give an introduction to why we are doing this, just to lay the groundwork for this?
For the Seek and Share Truth
For
Conferences?
the Seek and Share Truth Conferences.
Yeah, absolutely. So as people who have studied truth, have pursued truth, and tried to seek out what the truth is amongst the chaos of this world where so many different worldviews are claiming to be the truth and very few are, we have found that Christ is the truth. He is God who incarnated, took on human flesh. He dwelt among us. He was crucified because he wanted to take on the penalty of sin, which is death, on our behalf for all who would accept that free gift of his, because we ourselves cannot pay for the price of our sin shy of our own death. And even then, it's a separation from God. So he was willing to be crucified on our behalf, take on that sin, and then resurrect, because death has no power over him ultimately, because he is God. And so he's offered this restoration with him and eternal life if we accept his gift. And so knowing that, how could we love him and love truth and not want to share him and share truth? And so through that, we help encourage and inspire others to do the same, to seek and share truth. We know that when we seek God, we'll find him when we seek him with all of our heart. And so we have found him ourselves, and we want to help encourage others to find him. We don't want to promote a culture in which Christians think it's acceptable to simply go, oh yeah, I know God is true, I'm just going to go to church and go home and that be it. No, we're called to so much more. Again, if we love others, that share love with others, that share God with others. And so it's been amazing to get to partner with so many different ministries and so many different laymen, so to speak, that are all interested in joining us on this journey to seek and share truth together better than ever before. And the debates were a really good opportunity in my mind, because I wanted to pull in people of different faiths. I wanted to give them something that they would find interesting in order to enable that. And in order to have conversations, interfaith conversations, as many would say, but a little bit different than most who would use that terminology. So I think that was definitely a success on our end, but everybody but Daniel seems happy with it.
Was it specifically something that was just targeted to Muslims?
No, absolutely
something
not.
Like this whole thing was just anti-Islam.
No, definitely not.
No.
So with the debates, like obviously it was a Christian versus a Muslim debate, but with the conference itself, it's never just been an Islamic thing. And I know that's a claim that was put up against us. We'll see shortly, I'm sure. But no, like each year we've dealt with lots of different things. Every year I've made sure that someone is talking about things that apply to sharing the truth with Mormons, sharing the truth with Jehovah's Witnesses, sharing the truth with atheists, sharing the truth with agnostics, sharing the truth with tons of different cults and worldviews. I mean, we've talked about so many different things, spiritual but not religious. We've talked about all these different topics, and so many different cults, so many different faiths, so many lacks of faiths in so many different ways. We've talked about biblical truth. Obviously, a huge part of it is just focusing on what does Christianity teach, not even dealing with other things. And so for it to be claimed as, oh, this is just a hate on Muslims. Well, first of all, no, we don't hate Muslims at all. We love Muslims. That's why we want them to have truth, just like we want Jehovah's Witnesses to have truth, just like we want Mormons to have truth, just like we want atheists to have truth. And frankly, just like we want Christians to have truth too. We want Christians to be better equipped to better understand what the scriptures are saying, what Christ has revealed throughout all of history, throughout all of reality, and to walk in the Spirit of God, to follow the Father. And so this is what we're doing. This is who we are. And it's not just an Islamic thing. The only reason I even mentioned Muslims in regards to the debate was because, yeah, obviously Daniel calls himself a Muslim. Now, that's very debated within the Islamic circles.
Quite a bit. But real quick here, Leif does also agree. Leif was able to be at the Seek and Share Truth conference with us. And he saw, stuff on Islam, atheism, Mormonism, Jehovah's Witness, and Black Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is like be all. We're just dealing with apologetics and polemics, trying to reach out to people, and then doing evangelism, trying to call them to Christ.
One of the funniest things too is like we've dealt with Judaism as well. I know it wasn't on the list that I initially said, but we're definitely dealing with Judaism. And we had a lot of people who follow Judaism come to the conference last year specifically, which was really cool. But I know Daniel would be very against the idea of us sharing Christ with Jews because his perspective is so like Christians promote Judaism and Judaism is evil, therefore Christianity is evil. Which is just wild. There's so many problems with that. But without getting on too many tangents, yeah, I mean, we want all people to know truth because we want to show God's love to all peoples. Just like the Bible says, I mean, we're supposed to go to all nations and proclaim him. So,
and part of that was inviting Haqiqatjou to be able to share his views and being able to, the first debate was on the Islamic dilemma, be able to refute that in the best way he can. And then the debate he wanted, and remember, he wanted this, and I was mentioning this up to it because I was more excited about this debate than I was the last one because I was more curious on what was going to be his standpoint. Because I knew he was going to try to refute the first one, but I was really curious about the second one, which was which religion betrays Jesus more respectfully, Islam or Christianity? Now, again, key points there. It's Islam versus Christianity. This is not, do current Christians respect Jesus? Or do current Muslims respect Jesus? No, this is on the religious teachings of the scripture, saying which one of these respects Jesus more. And that was his request.
Yeah, his wording, which I think is extra weird, was portrays Jesus more respectfully. So not even just like which one respects Jesus more, but which one portrays Jesus more respectfully. So the direction he took it doesn't fit that at all.
No, but we'll see what he has to say. Let's go ahead and go through. I'm going to dive in here to his live stream he did with his audience. Don't worry, we're not doing the full 3 hours. It's a lot of whining, and I really don't have the patience to go through the entire whining period, but let's go ahead and go on through. Let me know how the audio is for this, and we'll dive on in.
And we have an exciting episode for you today, going over the debate that I had, 2 debates actually, over the weekend against Christian apologist David Wood. I've debated David Wood twice now already over the past 5 years. And these were 2 more debates back-to-back happening on Sunday. One was on the so-called Islamic dilemma, and the other debate was on which religion respects Jesus more, Islam or Christianity. So I wanted.
So there you go. Those are the debates according to him. And again, the second one was his request. The first one was David's. And he would only agree to the first one if David agreed to the second one. Well, actually, what it was he gave a list of different options, saying, hey, he's willing to do it. I'm willing to debate the Islamic dilemma if you do one of these. And he gave a long list, and multiple of the list was just political or involved Israel, involved Zionism, and then the only one that didn't, that would have been relevant to the audience that is at this conference, would be the one he just mentioned, which is who respects Jesus more, Christianity or Islam. So that would be why.
Do a reaction on these two debates. I'll speak more about one of them as opposed to the other, depending on how much time we have. But it was interesting to debate David Wood again. I think that it went well, alhamdulillah. That you could see that David was very uncomfortable with these two debates.
I think he is missing something. I think the first one, Dave was very confident in what he was saying. The second one, I think he was just lost trying to catch up to the rabbit trail that Haqiqatjou was trying to dive everyone down and trying to wonder how on earth he's supposed to respond to this so off topic. Wasn't even funny. Now, James at Modern Day Debate would have been fully within his right to cut the second debate off at the knees whenever the opening started, because it was so far off topic. And it was basically another topic. It was the other topic that David refused to do. He said no because of the audience that he was talking to. So he just did a bait and switch. But we'll get more into that later.
And these debates were suggested by David Wood. So James from Modern Day Debates came to me and he suggested doing debates with David Wood and some other lady, Hatun. I don't know if you know who this is. I don't really know much about her. But they suggested there's this conference that Christians are having and they want a Muslim debater.
Yeah, so actually, to be fair, it didn't even need to be a Muslim debater. Like, we talked about having potentially like Alex O'Connor there, which is obviously not a Muslim, but we figured expenses would probably be quite high for like international travel. We talked about others being there. Haqiqatjou wasn't someone that we went into this thinking, oh, let's do him. It was just like, oh yeah, like Haqiqatjou might be willing to do this. According to James of Modern Day Debate. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I think that would be a good fit for David to kind of show like how Islam is. I think that Haqiqatjou does an okay job at times representing the Islamic viewpoints. Obviously, again, Muslims would definitely disagree in a lot of ways on that. But yeah, just weird, but okay.
Yep. Okay, so we have a super chat here, which I'll let you take.
So Leif of Vine Eternal says, said it before and I'll say it again, 11 out of 10 conference. Surprise to Haqiqatjou face. John 1:5, the light shines in the darkness and the darkness did not comprehend it. Daniel is evidence of that truth. God bless. Thank you very much, Leif.
Thank you very much. Yeah, again, we offered to host this with Modern Day Debate. Have Haqiqatjou come. He's obviously compensated for his time, his effort, whatever the deal is. So it's not like we're saying, hey, we need you. We must have you. Please come and do this. No, it's like, okay, I figured he's desperate enough to say yes. So that's what my perspective was. It's like Daniel needs something. And unfortunately, this was not what he wanted.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and continue if you're ready, or do you have something else to add?
If he talks about the topics, I have the list of topics he proposed up, but we'll wait. We'll listen to what he has to say.
He probably goes back to it if memory serves.
And they're inviting you. They want you to come debate Hatun and David Wood. So there was some back and forth on what the topics should be. David Wood really wanted to debate the Islamic dilemma. So, okay. And then I had the opportunity to propose another debate to do with him, because Islamic dilemma, it's one-sided. It's like one side is just attacking Islam and there's no real opportunity for playing offense, basically.
That's pretty bad. If he's saying that the Islamic dilemma, there's no opportunity to point to Islam through it. I mean, is it accurate? Well, yeah, the Islamic dilemma is really, really bad for Islam. But, for example, if someone was like, for example, asking us to debate the deity of Christ throughout Scripture, I wouldn't say, oh, I just have to play defense the whole time. There's no opportunity to point to the truth of Christianity. It's like, literally pick a topic anything apologetics, polemics related, literally the point for us is to get to the gospel. And I would think that any topic can do that, because
Yes.
all of reality points to the truth of the gospel, points to the deity of Christ, points to the truth of Scripture, the veracity of Scripture. And so it's just kind of weird that he's like, oh, well, I can't just do the Islamic dilemma, because then I just have to play defense and I never get to share Islam. It's like, well, first of all, the Islamic dilemma is almost exclusively based on going through Islamic scriptures.
So this should all be his ballpark. This should just be like, man, this is easy. This should be extremely simple for him to be able to do. And this is something that David has said over and over. This is something that he's been pushing for years, is the Islamic dilemma. This is also something that has been stated before him as well. So it's something that's been there for a long time. And David, even in his opening, clearly states in the debate, hey, I'm just using the old stuff. I'm just using the old stuff. So at any time, Haqiqatjou could have done his research and seen David's entire argument right there in the open and go from there. I think he also even offered to, I think it was Farid, to do a debate with Farid. And he said, you know what? I will not even change my opening. So you will know exactly what I'm going to say in my opening with you if you take this debate. And I haven't heard a schedule yet. So, I mean, that's as simple as it gets, guys. That's as easy as it gets as far as debate goes. He is literally handing you the game plan. Yeah. Your opponent is handing you the game plan saying, this is what I'm going to do. Stop me. And you can't.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and that was
according to the other Muslims out there, according to the big Muslim speakers out there, Haqiqatjou got caught with his pants down with this, got caught unprepared, got caught just absolutely owned by David in this debate. And that's like, okay, now your own Muslims are telling you this. There's something wrong here, right?
Yeah, and this was David's whole thing to begin with, too. Again, it wasn't like, Haqiqatjou, come debate me. But if David was going to debate something on Islam, he wanted to be on the Islamic dilemma, because despite some random videos that do a really poor job of even pretending to address the question, there has yet to be a sufficient response to the Islamic dilemma. It's frankly not, Islam does not permit a way for there to be a proper, sound response to the Islamic dilemma, which is why it's called the Islamic dilemma to begin with. But we wanted to be able to highlight this, so David wanted to specifically debate the Islamic dilemma. So that was the context for behind this. It didn't have to be with Haqiqatjou. He offered it to tons of people. But yeah, it's just, I thought it was strange that he was like, oh, well, I have to be on defense for this. It's like, well, if it's not a dilemma,
is like the easiest offense job ever, because it's, again, you got the game plan right there. It is pretty simple. Now, Haqiqatjou did say something in this about the two topics. He said that he got the opportunity to pick the other one.
Yeah.
So did we say, hey, can you go ahead and pick another topic? We'll pick one, you pick one. Is that what happened? Because to my recollection, it was, I'll do it only if you do one of these.
So, I don't know if there's more that we should listen to of this first before going into it, but I pulled back up the context so that I could refer back to it. Daniel tried to not even deal with the Islamic dilemma with David. He tried to push that off onto Hatun. He tried to make it, which is, oh shoot, where did I have that? Well, yeah, he wanted to do Jewish scripture, Tanakh, and Islamic scripture, Quran, confirm Christian scripture, Bible. And that was what he wanted to do with Hatun Tosh instead of David. So I thought that was very interesting, because it was David who wanted to do the Islamic dilemma, and then he's trying to be like, oh, I'll do this like variant, of course, like.
And who knew that he went to the other Jewish scriptures during his whole entire debate? It's like, okay, so you were really just prepared to do these two topics that you wanted to do, and you ignore whatever you gave your word to do. That's what it comes down to.
So yeah, so Daniel, his like counter offer or whatever to doing the Islamic dilemma with David and the perfect preservation of the Quran with Hatun were what I just read. And then also, which is better preserved, Bible or Quran, which I think we'll probably hear. Oh, no, that was in the other debate. So, I mean, the other video that he did with Paul. He was saying that Hatun conveniently left off the perfect preservation of the Bible at a later stage when they were going back and forth on topic choice. But literally his initial counteroffer, which is better preserved, Bible or Quran. So he is the one who left off the perfect preservation of the Quran, at which point Hatun was like, no worries if you don't believe in the perfect preservation of the Quran, dot for dot, letter for letter, sound for sound. We don't need to debate that. And yet he's trying to like push it off on her like it's her deal. And then so the second thing that he proposed was, is Christian Zionism morally justified? Which David has said this again and again and again. He's not a Christian Zionist. He's a Christian, and he believes that Israel has a right to exist, but he's not a Christian Zionist. That's its own thing. And yet, so it wouldn't make sense for David to debate something that he doesn't support. He doesn't like, he's not a part of the Christian Zionist movement. So that doesn't make any sense. Plus, it doesn't make any sense in the context of a Christian apologetics, polemics, and evangelism conference. It's just so strange that...
Only in Haqiqatjou's mind. Only in Pikachu's mind.
And then the other one was, would the historical Jesus have opposed modern Israel? Which again is like, what on earth?
Not on topic.
Yeah, it's so irrelevant to anything that we're trying to do. And then he said other possible topics with David. Would Jesus have opposed liberal democracy? What? Again, what's the relevancy? Which religion portrays Jesus more respectfully, Islam or Christianity? And that one we're like, all right, yeah, that's at least relevant. Like,
that's the only one that's actually Christian relevant. Yeah, for the Christian conference that this is taking place at.
Yeah.
So of course that's the one that David's like, okay, we'll do this one, I guess.
Yeah, as long as he does the Islamic dilemma with David, and so yeah, that's what they agreed to.
So that would be the sort of behind the scenes stuff. Now we'll hear what he has to say about it, but that's the actual truth of the matter that we're dealing with.
And just play defense. So I suggested a few different debate topics. Some of them were political, about Christian support for Zionism, Christian support for Israel.
You mean all of them were except for one? It seemed like you really, 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 really wanted to talk about Zionism, which wasn't relevant to the audience, except you tried to make it relevant.
And political, why though? Like, you're admitting like these topics were political. Why though? Why would you think that we want to deal with like politics when it comes to apologetics, polemics, and evangelism? Not that politics is like completely like something we should just like chuck out the window, but it's not apologetics, polemics, and evangelism. Like, what?
Nope.
Anyway.
And clearly David didn't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Or debate those topics. The other suggestion that he did accept was, which religion respects Jesus more, Islam or Christianity? And judging by the reaction from these Christian apologists and people like Apus, they were...
It's interesting that he's gone back to that term for apostate prophet, because
go back to this. That's fine.
Apostate prophet had a very good reaction to that in a debate with Daniel Haqiqatjou when he called him that. I think he essentially threatened to start insulting Muhammad, and then he cut it out and he started calling him apostate prophet. But now, when he thinks there's no consequences, he goes back to it over and over and over. And there are consequences.
That'd be Arabic Quran. Every time he says it in the stream that we see, there will be another page upon his head for the day of judgment according to his theology.
Now, of course, he can come to Christ and reject all that silly nonsense, because Allah is not the eternal judge of the universe. But yeah, according to his worldview, that is not good.
Not good, man. You got a ripped up page of the Quran to go account for on Judgment Day, because according to the Quran, since you led me to this, you're partially responsible now. Well, I hope you don't do it too many times in this video. Spoiler, he may do it a couple more times.
They were very angry. They're extremely upset that the actual debate ended up being a lot about Christian support for Zionism.
Yeah, pause.
Zionism.
You think
Not
people
relevant.
you think people are upset because you agreed to a debate topic and then went to a different debate topic? You want to gloat about that a little more? Oh, I made them all upset because I didn't keep my word. Yeah,
Well, even then,
like that's annoying. What do you mean?
If you watch the video, it is not when he's going off ranting about Israel that people get upset. When he actively says, hey, you know, according to your theology here, this obscure book that is in the apocryphal accounts that no Christian actually believes in, says that Mary was 12. And then, okay, and in that case, your God raped Mary. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, none of that even logically follows at all. But
in that case, what was the crowd requesting? Source.
yeah, chapter
verse. And he said, oh, they're so upset that I was talking about Zionism. Zionism had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, we're asking for accountability. First of all, for you to be on topic, because that's ridiculous to be told yes on a completely different topic. Again, Christianity or Islam, which religion portrays Jesus more respectfully? Islam or Christianity? Which one? Okay, so that was the topic that you said and the topic that David and you agreed to. So when you're going, which religion disrespects Jesus more, Judaism or Judaism? We're like, dude,
what do we care? It is
What?
irrelevant. And well, it also shows he just has no grasp on basic Christian theology. When in his opening he's like, is it Christ-like to love your enemies? Is it? Yes.
And supposedly this is a man who chose Islam because he read the Bible and it aligned perfectly with the Quran, which is just ridiculous because that's not at all how that works.
Oh,
But,
Lord.
Okay.
Have mercy on his soul. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going here. See what other spins he wants to put on it that we can go ahead and just tell you guys the actual truth of what happened behind the scenes, because I don't deal with this garbage crap.
And they claim that, oh, Daniel is being deceptive. Daniel is lied.
Yeah.
He didn't stick to the topic.
Exactly.
You did not stick to the topic. This would be like me offering to you, hey, we can do some debates. You know what? I'll give you a couple of topics. We can debate Tawheed and if it is logical or not. Or we can debate how Muhammad loved to get pounded in the rear end by the men of Al-Zut. Which one would you like to debate? Oh, you want to do the Tawheed? Okay, we'll do the Tawheed. We get set up. We're all there. And my opening statement is, well, to really understand Muhammad's view of Tawheed, we must understand how he enjoyed having gay sex with the men of Al-Zut. And then proceed to talk 20 minutes, my entire opening, on the men of Al-Zut. And then at the end say, oh, well, that's how you really can understand Tawheed. And they say, oh, I never went off topic. No, that's garbage. We all know that was garbage. Okay? And as far as I'm concerned, Daniel should be blacklisted now from any debates because he's not going to be honest about what topics he's going to do. He's going to agree to things, and then he's just going to do whatever he wants. In that case, he should not be in any way, shape, or form debated in any way. That was it. Do you want to pull something up?
We got a comment saying, say what you will, modern day debate was still shady, just my 2 cents. Why though? I don't understand.
I don't know
this.
if he's referring to, he definitely did favor Daniel in a lot of ways. And I think that's because modern day debate was feeling bad for Daniel being in a Daniel kept claiming was a hostile situation, which again, later on, at least in this live stream or the next live stream he did, one of them, he admits that he was riling up the crowd. He was specifically there to antagonize all the Christians. And he specifically wanted that. So if he was there to do that, and then James kind of feels bad because it's like, wow, all these guys are kind of getting upset with Daniel saying that, because a lot of his second debate was all attack the audience. He was literally attacking the audience throughout the second debate. He was accusing them of everything underneath the sun. And finally, combinating with the accusation of raping a 12-year-old girl. So, yeah, I can see where they might get a little upset about that. At no point, and again, we had security that was there. It got boisterous. It definitely, when Daniel started asking him questions and he did not get the response he wanted, and then he acted like everyone was attacking him because he didn't get the response he wanted when they just answered his question. So, yeah, we had security there in case anyone were to go get injured or try to injure anyone in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I specifically sat on Daniel's side there in case anyone was to start running up to him. I was there to make sure that he did not get hurt. So I was covering for Daniel there, and
as were police. Yeah.
As we had police officer there. So we had security. We had another gentleman situated in case we had a runner for David. So we had one for David. We had one for Daniel. James, I'm sorry, I didn't have an extra one. You were on your own. But you look like you could take care of yourself, so I wasn't terribly concerned. That being said, Daniel was in no way, shape, or form threatened in any way while at there by anyone wanting to do physical harm to him. In fact, we made sure that wasn't even a possibility. We made sure that there were bag checks at the beginning to check all the bags that were coming in. The venue specifically requested that. In fact, they were going to say, if not, then they were going to come down and say, hey, you guys, you can't have any bags at all. But we went ahead and had someone there doing bag checks to make sure it was an officer, a local officer that was able to do the bag checks there. So we had him covered, him protected. I was more worried about Daniel getting hurt. In fact, I said this beforehand on a stream. I was more concerned about Daniel's safety than I am David's when it comes down to it. Because I know David's saved. I know if Daniel dies today, he will go to hell. And I do not want that for him at all.
His soul is at much greater risk than his body. And that's not a threat.
No.
It's, Daniel, please turn away from this darkness and into light. Yeah, we don't want you physically harmed. We don't want you spiritually harmed. Like, we truly do want the best for you. Now, if you're going to have a bunch of lies, if you're going to have a bunch of deception and nonsense, yeah, absolutely, we're going to call you out. And that's actually for your good and for the good of everyone else listening. Because we don't want lies and darkness to run rampant. And you're propagating them quite a bit. And that's concerning.
And when it comes down to it, someone who is a habitual liar, who does this sort of stupid games just to manipulate people and lie about them and slander them, you know what? That ends up hurting them just as much as the other people that they're trying to get. It really is. So
Leif said, do not fear the one who can kill the body, but fear the one who can cast the soul into hell. Indeed. Allah said bro was worried someone would blow him up.
Well, he later on in the stream, and we'll get to it shortly. Or at least, was it a stream? Yes, it was a stream. He accuses the audience of wanting to physically attack him.
Nobody wanted to physically attack him.
No, I don't think anyone actually wanted to even touch him. So
except David. David just wanted
a handshake, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to shake your hand. No, no."
Somebody else said he wanted his 72 virgins.
72
well,
virgins.
He's not going to get them either way. So
no.
Oops.
And who said they were going to be girls anyway? So there's that. Just saying. Let's go ahead and continue, see if he's got anything else to refute, which guarantee he does.
And as I pointed out in the debate, I did stick to the topic. I talked about Christian theology and how it has evolved on this very important question.
That's not true.
Nothing about Christian doctrine did he bring up during the debate. He brought up the whole, you support Jews, you love Jews. Jews don't like Jesus. Therefore, you don't like Jesus because you like someone who hates Jesus. And after all, Jesus definitely never said, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. Or even that blasphemy against the Son is forgivable. blasphemy against the Holy Spirit is not. So even to the level of blasphemy, their sins can be wiped clean when it comes to anything against Jesus. So, of course, I want them to be saved. I want them to enter into the kingdom of heaven alongside me. And guess what, Daniel? I want the same for you. I want you to enter into this eternal paradise, this heaven with us.
With your creator, the true creator who loves you enough to sacrifice himself for you. It's very sad seeing the rejection of him, which was kind of Daniel's whole point, is like, well, the Jews reject Jesus, so if you accept the Jews and want to share the gospel with the Jews, then you're rejecting Jesus. It's like, no, that's how we show our acceptance for Jesus, is helping others to accept him as well, like, or at least hoping that they will. Like, it's so strange. Definitely not on topic, and definitely not talking about evolving Christian theology. He talked about some like obscure sources that most Jews don't even believe in, to say like Christians should hate Jews more, and if they don't hate Jews enough, they're not Christians. It's like, yeah, no. Again,
He also quoted,
Christ is love.
He quoted some church fathers who, guess what, actually said the opposite once you took it into context. So, bit of an issue there. Yet he's quote mining in his even what he's putting forth. He is quote mining just to hear what he wants them to say, and then that's what he shows, without saying, well, this is what we really should do. You know, we should hate the Jews, but Christ forgave them, so we should too. He would attach on the we should hate the Jews part and completely ignore the qualification of, but Jesus forgave them, so we should too. Yep.
RJ says, Daniel seriously can't be this ignorant, right?
Sorry.
You know, I really don't actually think he is that ignorant, though. I used to think that he was more intellectually honest than
malicious.
Some other Dala dudes, but yeah, I don't think
he's malicious. And what's so bad about it is the other Muslim speakers are calling him out for this. So it's really bad. We're in a religion where you are told that it's obligatory to lie.
Yeah. If it makes
you have other people calling you out for lying.
Yeah. Other
That's
Muslims.
bad.
Like, the Ummah is so divided over Daniel. Like, Daniel versus the Ummah. Yeah.
Of Judaism and Judaism's treatment of Jesus Christ. This is something that is very important in the New Testament. It's something that's significant in the church councils. The church fathers have written extensively about this, and the founders of Protestantism have also discussed this issue at length. And it's a hot topic. It's a big theological debate happening today.
Yeah, so let me make this clear to anyone who's confused. If Jesus Christ is God, who incarnated, was crucified and resurrected, and again is the God who has always been God and will always be God, anyone, whether a Jew, whether a Muslim, whether a Buddhist, whether a Hindu, whether an atheist, whether an agnostic, if anyone denies the deity of Christ, that is disrespectful to Jesus. That is the line. I mean, not that there's not other things that are disrespectful, but anyone who denies the deity of Christ is disrespecting
he
Jesus.
Definitely did not get. Maybe I should make that more poignant in the question. Maybe I should have added another question. You know, if you treated Allah as only a prophet,
That would have been a good question.
then would that be disrespectful?
Yeah.
Which, of course, the answer would be yeah.
Oh, yeah.
According to him.
Well,
So, I mean, it logically, based upon the question I did ask, it would logically follow. But sometimes you need to handhold. And sometimes the hand-holding doesn't even help when they forgot the topic of the debate
and I've
that they wanted.
I've asked similar questions just in regard to Muhammad himself, not even bringing Allah into the question. But if I were to say, oh, I respect Muhammad, I respect him, I believe in Muhammad, I believe he was a false prophet. You know, you believe he was a true prophet, I believe he was a false prophet. I respect him just as much as you do. Muslims would be like, what? What?
No.
How is that respectful? Well, frankly, the truth is way more respectful than lies, and Muhammad was a false prophet, so it is more respectful to call Muhammad a false prophet, especially in light of true prophecy, of which Christ is the culmination of so many prophecies about himself by himself. But yeah, anyway, yeah, let's not reject who Christ says he is and then call ourselves respectful. And let's not get on someone for, yeah, being disrespectful to Christ and then also being disrespectful for Christ. Like, yeah.
It counts on your perspective. Now, the way I presented my questions was by the Muslim perspective, putting it in that. Now, if you objectively look at it, of course, a prophet is a lower position of respect than God, obviously. So that would, again, show that Christians have at least the teachings in Christianity that Jesus is this God figure. Even if you don't believe it, you got to say that at least they respect him in that position. So, but let's go ahead and continue.
Real quick before we do, though, Leif says, I think the Muslims in the audience were ignorant for the most part. Daniel, nah, he knows exactly what he's doing. And that's what I would say as well, sadly. Because it's one thing if someone's just ignorant. They can still be open to seeking the truth and to sharing the truth. But if somebody is willfully dismissing the truth, purposely covering up the truth, purposely lying, it's like, oh, God can still work in their heart. God can still turn a heart of stone into a heart of flesh. And guys, please seriously be praying for Daniel that God will turn him to himself, to Christ, and that Daniel will forgo all these ways of his that he has chosen over truth, over Christ himself. But yeah, he's not ignorant of what he's doing at this point.
And it was very obvious after this video.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and continue.
David Wood is deeply involved with Zionists. Very obviously, he's being patronized by them. Apus is also being patronized by them.
Uh-oh.
That would be page number 2. So there you go. Random Arabic only Quran page. Some more goat feed for our goat. There you go, Daniel. And
I was thinking about this portion though, where he's like, they're very obviously being paid by the Jews. I think it would have been so funny. We might still really do this at some point with someone to somehow find shekels. I don't even know if like you can buy them somewhere or whatever, but to get shekels and hand them to Daniel. Because this is one of his primary things. His primary things is like, everybody's paid by the Jews. You're an agent. You're an agent. You're an agent. And that's like, I seriously wonder how much he's projecting, because he's like, David was very uncomfortable with these debate topics. Well, Daniel was so uncomfortable with the debate topics, he didn't even stay on this like topic he chose.
Nope.
So first of all, there's that. Second of all, the whole like, you're an agent, you're an agent, you're an agent. That's an accusation that's been made against Daniel. Just so funny.
He was passing that accusation out like hotcakes. Yeah. Here you go. You get an agent. You're an agent. You're an agent. This entire congregation is nothing but agents, and they're all against me, and they all want to attack me.
Yeah.
Because I'm here speaking the truth about this, except no one actually cared about it until you started actually just absolutely bull-faced lying about everything.
Yeah.
And that's why they're constantly releasing this stream of pro-genocidal statements against the Palestinians. So it's very irrelevant to the question of which religion respects Jesus more, because Israel and Judaism are extreme haters of Jesus Christ.
So what?
They're extreme haters.
It matters.
I'd say the same thing about Islam.
Yeah.
Islam is an extreme hater of Jesus, the actual Jesus. Well, no, we respect Jesus more than... No, you don't. You respect Isa. You respect the concept that you put forth as being Jesus by rewriting history.
I don't even think they respect that. Because even according to the Quran,
yeah, he's absolutely
Jesus is the word of Allah. Who is the word of Allah? Allah himself. Like, no, they don't respect him across the board.
So we got super chat again from Leif, and I'm sorry, Leif, I do not have my wheel of spinniness.
But
today.
Leif says, you're being paid off by the Jews.
The Jews.
Sir, we're in Youngstown of all places.
We're in Youngstown. This is not a Jewish epicenter at all. Oh, you might be able to find a couple of synagogues. I think there are a couple of synagogues, but I think there are more mosques in there than synagogues. So this would be the land of. It wouldn't be the land of the Jews, that's for sure. I mean, there's more churches than mosques, so it'd be Christian, but yeah, not Jewish by any stretch of the imagination.
But to be fair, because I don't want to leave this unacknowledged during this at some point, the continuation of Judaism is Christianity. The true continuation of Judaism is Christianity. That is not the case for Islam. That's not the case for Buddhism. That's not the case for Hinduism. That's not the case for Black Hebrew Israelism. That's not the case for Mormonism. That's not the case for Jehovah's Witnesses. That's not the case for any of these other cult religions, worldviews that are in opposition to Christianity. True Judaism is not in opposition to Christianity. Now you can say rabbinic Judaism is in opposition to Christianity, and that's purposeful after the fact. I mean, plenty of people
is Islam.
Yeah, plenty of people have rejected Christ, but original Judaism is fully in harmony with Christianity. It is wild to think otherwise. Completely wild to think otherwise.
Of Jesus Christ. So this is an obvious contradiction. How can you claim David Wood, a puss who supposed
What do I do with that? There we go. So again, no, it would not be an obvious contradiction. It literally is just respecting Jesus for the teachings that he had. Because after all, Jesus specifically told them to love those who persecute you. Which, guess what? If what he was claiming and there was true, even if it was true, that would be persecution for their beliefs. So, no, we're just following what Jesus said. It's very disrespectful of Jesus to disregard his teachings and to spit upon them. That would be disrespectful.
supposedly as a Christian now, and we'll talk about that in a minute, how can you be respecters of Jesus when you have a state, the only Jewish state, with the Jewish ethno-religious identity of Judaism, the only religion that actually hates Jesus and insults him and his mother and has theology built on hating him as a false Messiah? How can you as a Christian be so supportive of that religion, that political program, that Zionist state, while they're in the middle of the worst genocide that we have seen in over 100 years?
Not the worst genocide, not even close. So, no, I know he's going crabby. Oh, well, only the last 100 years. Only the last 100 years. Well, yeah, because guess what? The actual genocide, most recent genocide on a massive scale was... Oh, wait, that was them killing the Jews. And what Hitler was saying, oh, yeah, I'll go down to the Middle East after this and join up with the Muslims in order to wipe the Jews out down there. That's pretty bad.
Real quick on the hatred thing, if we open up the holy word of God, not the Quran, but it's scriptures that are confirmed by the Quran, such as it were. John 15:18-25 shows us Jesus saying, if the world hates you, know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love you as its own, because you are not of the world. But I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word I said to you. A servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you. If they kept my word, they will also keep yours. But all these things they will do to you on account of my name, because they do not know him who sent me. If I had come and spoken to them, they would not be guilty of sin, but now they have no excuse for their sin. Whoever hates me hates my Father also. If I had not done among them the works that no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have seen and hated both me and my Father. but the word that is written in their law must be fulfilled. They hated me without a cause. This isn't just talking about the Jews. This is talking about anyone who rejects Jesus Christ as God and the Father as God. This obviously would include Islam. Islam hates who Jesus truly is, which is the God. Islam hates the Father. Allah is a father to none. And in no sense, Islamically, is Allah a father. Allah wants you to be his slaves. And I think that's very interesting because sin is a huge enslaver.
Oops, I forgot about that.
In what?
Yeah, he's right. Sorry.
So
It's just barely.
Second World War was less than 100 years ago. Haqiqatjou, stand corrected, not to mention all the others.
Yeah, because it's about 100 years ago. It's just under that 100-year mark. So,
But
oops.
anyway, so Islam rejects Jesus for who he is. Islam rejects the Father for who he is. Islam rejects the Spirit for who he is. They reject Yahweh, the one true triune God. And so, again, this isn't just Judaism is the only religion that hates Jesus. No, Messianic Jews are the true Jews. And they love Jesus. They accept Jesus. They accept the Spirit. They accept the Father. Islam accepts none of the above. So Jesus warned us about this. And again, it's not just about Judaism. It's about rejecting the truth of who God is. Islam does that. Buddhism does that. Hinduism does that. Black Hebrew Israelites do that. I mean, pick anything that rejects Jesus. So,
as far as the modern age of television and radio and photographs, this is the worst genocide that we've ever witnessed.
no.
There was radio in World War II, but there was television in World War II, but
Photographs.
all of these things were World War II. I don't know if he knows history. I don't know if he does.
With the Palestinians. So this is not something that is off the rails or off topic. No, this is perfectly relevant.
No.
You just are uncomfortable talking about this because it's highlighting the hypocrisy of your position and your politics.
How is it hypocrisy?
To not be, again, at any point did we talk about Zionism at this conference? Was that one of the topics?
It definitely wasn't one of the conference topics. I mean,
Oh, you mean
possible.
we weren't like pro-Zionists trying to recruit? We didn't have one of the tables there? Like, here you go, you recruit to Zionism. Now here's your shekels.
No.
No? Oh, I must have missed that one. Okay, maybe Haqiqatjou saw it.
It's possible someone said something in response to Daniel, but shy of that, I don't know when it would have been relevant to anything.
Not a bit.
Again, which is why we didn't choose that topic to begin with, because it's not relevant.
And I love the fact that he's like, oh, they won't debate this. AP and David won't debate this. I wonder what
AP
literally
just debated this.
he literally just did with Andrew Wilson.
Yeah.
Down in, was it North, South Carolina, wherever they
One
had
of the
it.
Carolinas, yeah.
One of the Carolinas. We
With
were there.
modern day debate.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, he literally just did this.
Yeah.
But yet now you're lying here saying, oh, they would never do this.
And it's funny because I think Daniel might have like borrowed some of the things that Andrew Wilson said, which is hilarious if he did. Otherwise, they just have like
That was
really
the same
bad
thing.
sources for both of them.
He literally watched Andrew Wilson's debate. It was very telling. In fact, this goes out, I think, on the Polemics, Act 17 Polemics channel today, is the second debate. Because Daniel won't release the second debate.
Yeah, which is wild.
He admitted that he's not going to do it because he's afraid that the Christians will flag it.
For what?
For
though? Why though?
Maybe like false copyright flags. Maybe he's worried about that, which, again, Christians are told not to lie, so we're not supposed to do that. So, but I think in the end, he's ashamed of how the second one went. And, that he's saying maybe hate speech. That's a debate. But maybe hate speech against him, maybe. I think it might have a decent case there against him. Because, man, that was a whole, that was a rant.
You mean Daniel Haqiqatjou performed hate speech? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yes, against him. Against Daniel Haqiqatjou. Last I checked is him. I mean, I didn't check under that dress. We didn't do a pat down.
You said against. It just made it sound like there was hate speech made against Haqiqatjou. That's what I was trying to understand.
So, okay.
Yeah, nobody was hating on Haqiqatjou at all.
Well, other than what he was saying, because what he was saying
was not.
And definitely when he's like, hey, guys, have you ever seen a Muslim burn a Quran, a Bible? And it's like, yes, we have. Yeah. And he's like, oh, they're all hating on me. Oh, they're all hating on me because they didn't answer the way I wanted them to answer.
But yeah, again, so few people realize this. Hating on bad arguments is not hating on the person. That's being loving to the person by wanting them to have accurate arguments, wanting them to have truth, wanting them to, like, those in the audience to know truth and to not be deceived. It's just wild. Yeah. Just completely wild.
It's showing that you're LARPing as Christians. My fellow Christian apologists, we must support the state of Israel.
Who said that?
I mean, I guess maybe AP in that debate.
Yeah. At a completely different location.
That's not at the conference that this is at. I don't think David's ever said that.
I mean, I would be not surprised if he said that. But again, that's not relevant. And even then, if somebody says, let's support Israel, that's not saying let's support evil that Israel may or may not do, or like this one off the wall claim that one Jew made at some point in some time.
I mean, I've said let's support the Uyghurs. Let's not put the Uyghurs in concentration camps. And if you're not familiar with the Uyghurs are, they're the Muslim group that was in China who was persecuted and executed in mass, as well as mistreated and raped. I say that's wrong. That doesn't mean I'm supporting their view on Christ.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's not good. So I can say, hey, Israel has the right to exist. Israel should not be attacked. And oh yeah, the Muslims shouldn't be attacked either and killed en masse in like concentration camps. That's bad. That's just being consistent.
Fellow Christian apologist, Apus says, my fellow Christians.
Apus is what he said.
See, I didn't even hear at that time. It's just become part of the noise at this point in this live stream. But that's number 3. The third one.
Notice that we're not attacking people, by the way.
No. I'm not ripping up people right now. Just FYI, in case he thinks we are. We're not.
My fellow Orthodox Christians, we must support the state of Israel. And there are no civilians in Gaza, as Apus says. There are no civilians.
Oh. Why is he so addicted to attacking people?
Yeah, I mean, he's attacking AP, he attacked David, he attacked every Christian at that debate. He literally accused Egyptian of being a Zionist agent.
Yeah, like a token brown person or something.
Yeah. As being you're a Zionist agent. It's like, no, he's actually from Egypt.
Yeah.
But yet you don't care. You just want to be racist. That's all.
Civilians in Gaza. So this pro-genocidal filth that he gets paid to promote, we're supposed to just accept that there's nothing needed in investigating the conflict between that and a professed Christian identity. No, you don't get a free pass on that. You don't get a free pass.
What Christian doctrine are you looking at that says in order to be saved, which is kind of that's the thing that makes you a Christian. In order to be saved, you need to support Zionism. I didn't sign that document.
And what Christian doctrine says you can't be saved if you support Israel? Like, he's saying that these people are LARPing, which means live action role playing as Christians and supporting Israel. Or that these like professed Christians are supporting Israel. It's like, okay, so if you support Israel, you're not capable of being a Christian? What on earth? Like, even the Quran over and over and over and over, which would have probably been a good way to deal with some of this. But even the Quran over and over and over says the children of Israel, the children of Israel, the children of Israel. Tell me how many times in the Quran it says the children of Palestine are supported by Allah. Because it's the children of Israel that are supported by Allah, according to the Quran. So, oops.
So Thaddeus from Reasoned Answers has a bit of a point here, talking about there are dozens of genocides more deadly than the Palestinian conflict. Yep. They're in the TV era. Yeah, this is just him making this claim is beyond stupid. He's just fulfilling propaganda again. He's pushing that forth as this is actual truth, where there's not anything there if you look at it for 5 seconds.
Also, which side wants the death of innocent Palestinians? Is it Israel or is it Palestinians? Just to be clear.
It's Hamas. It's the ones that's hiding behind the Palestinians. Like, here, take these guys. Shoot them instead.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit of an issue. And actually, as far as when it comes to civilian casualties, the whole issue with Palestine, the whole conflict there is actually lower than other conflicts throughout history. In fact, it's very hard to find another conflict with this scale that has as low of civilian casualties as we see Israel doing. So, good job on Israel. But now I'm a Zionist. I'm Jew, I guess. I don't know.
For saying minimize casualties, yeah.
You probably thought I was a Jew because of the hat.
I know. I was wondering about that after the fact.
He mentioned, oh, I like your hat. I was like, oh, thank you. Because I wasn't thinking at the time, I was, oh, he thinks I'm a Jew. No, he's, oh, I guess maybe he thought I was a Jew then. Interesting. Okay. No, I'm not a Jew. It literally says, your brother in Christ. That being said, this is also not a Jewish hat. It's a Stetson. Thank you very much.
And of course, Apus is never going to be willing to debate that.
Man, you let me play a little bit before you just make me rip out another page. Come on, man. Give me a break. These goats are eating good tonight.
That's what somebody said in the chat, yeah. One person said the goats are eating good tonight, and one person said, please tell me you're burning those or something like that.
Nope, they go in the goat feed. They go in the goat feed. And I can make little goats. Which I don't think he noticed.
I don't know.
He either didn't notice or didn't care, but I had a bunch of these goat eating Quran out there with the verse, with the hadith that goes with it, right behind, and you have to sign in front of these goats eating the Quran. And not a single thing was mentioned by any Muslims there.
I mean, it's their sources. And if you reject those sources, then according to Haqiqatjou, you're very clearly a heretic. So.
Absolutely.
Every time he gets on specifically his supposed conversion, what is really this conversion that you're making to orthodoxy? I just find it very convenient that you convert to orthodoxy, and as an Orthodox Christian, it turns out that the least pro-Zionist Christian denomination are the Orthodox. The Protestants and the Catholics, they have been falling in line, at least at the higher authorities within those churches. But the Eastern Orthodox are not as in bed with the Israelis.
Isn't he undermining whole...
Yeah, that would make the conversion more legitimate. You just happened to pick the one that was like anti-Israel. Yeah, that's the one you want to join. But if you're saying that he's an Israel, if you're saying that he's supposed to be pro-Israel and he's supposed to be building this up, wouldn't he convert to the religions that support Israel more? Yeah. I'm just saying.
He even like has said a bunch of times that he was looking into converting into Judaism, but he didn't. He converted to Eastern Orthodoxy. So yeah, I don't know what kind of weird mind game he thinks he's playing with this argument, but he's definitely undermining
this is stuff with the debate, right? Because he would be saying something and then he'd instantly undermine it to anyone that's paying attention. He did that, like, I think 3 times in the debate, if my count was right. And it was like between both debates. And it's like, dude, seriously? Wait, this argument here you're giving is the exact opposite of what you've been saying the entire time. So if you're right now, then you were wrong earlier. And if you were right earlier, then you're wrong now. It just completely undermines your position and your any sort of sense of reliability.
And that just happens to be the religion that Apus, after
I just need to start waiting for him to say it before I pause, because I remember him saying it a little bit, but I don't remember
that's
this.
way more than I remember him saying it.
I don't know, I'm paying attention, I guess. I was like, oh, well, let's bring this into it. Oh, well, I didn't realize he was going to make my goats fat. I'm going to make my goat fat, man. Stop overfeeding my goat.
Years of loudly and openly mocking religion, claiming that he's an atheist. God just doesn't make sense to me. Suddenly, after there's a war, there's October 7th happens, and then there's a war between Palestine and Israel. Now suddenly you've discovered the truth of Christ. And
anyone that's out there that's been following AP and David for a while, was that in any way, shape, or form sudden?
No, and if you look at the conference videos, like literally the first year that we suctioned him into some bonus events.
Suctioned him? Sucked him in? You're coming along, AP.
Well, yeah.
Got choice in matter.
No, I mean, but there legitimately was this whole joke the first year in the pre-conference live stream that we did with AP, where everybody was calling like David top G or whatever, because he was like, getting AP to join in, and he was like the atheist that was there against his will, and all these different jokes in that regard, because at that point AP was an atheist. Then year 2, he comes back to the conference, and he actually sticks around for the conference. The first year he was just there for bonus recordings and then left. The second year he actually stuck around, and he listened to David up on stage insulting atheism, insulting agnosticism, doing all these things, which of course he does in the live streams as well, and has for a long time. But AP, when he returned, he was an agnostic. So the first year he was an atheist. The second year he was an agnostic. He was already on this journey for a long time. The
We're
third
talking
year,
years. It was one like, oh yeah, today I decided that I am now a Christian. No, this was years. And for everyone that was in the chat who was praying for him, it has been years of Christians constantly praying that he comes to Christ. So no, this little, what he's referring to as a little conversion thing, no, this was like a long time in the making now.
And he's still on a journey too. It's not like any of us are saying, oh, he's like at his end destination. Like, he's not saying that either. He's like, guys, like, I'm still like figuring things out. Like,
and there's nothing wrong with that. You can figure things out. That's perfectly fine. Now, Thaddeus brings up a very good point, which again would be kind of the point that I make with Daniel in general. Is what does AP have anything to do with debating David Wood anyway? Yeah, AP wasn't even there. Okay,
not
AP
during the debate. He was hoping to be, and he didn't end up being able to. So he had to ask this question via me, and then I had Leif read it out loud, because Leif does like epic impressions of AP, which I had just found out, I think, like the night before. So it was funny timing. But AP was only there for the beginning of the conference this year. So what is the relevancy of anything with AP in this video?
This live stream from Haqiqatjou is literally all about debate reaction.
Yeah.
And he's going off on this long tangent about AP and how his conversion is actually just a fake conversion, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, Jackie A does bring up a point, which is interesting, that says not only that, God used AP's trip to Israel to physically touch AP that caused him to start searching seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So Israel did have an impact, but not in the way that Haqiqatjou is claiming. It had nothing to do with, this war, that war, and I just want, like, Israeli money. It was like, okay, there's, like, all these, like, historical evidence. Something happened here. Like, what happened here? And again, he had the choice of Judaism. He seriously considered Judaism after going to Israel. He was thinking about it. And yet, that's not what he decided to choose. That's not the direction he decided to take. So why? If he just wanted Israeli money, couldn't he just be a Jew?
When
He
he get paid
could.
more if he was a Jew?
He could. So weird.
We're supposed to just believe that this is all organic. Okay.
Yes. It is very
So
organic.
these are agents, and they need to be called out on it, and they need to be mocked. They need to be mocked and
Interesting.
bullied for this,
Bullied.
for their disgusting
Really?
pro-genocidal
We need to be bullied?
politics.
I'm pretty sure that is claiming that they need to be bullying. Calling for people to be bullying
Yeah.
is actually against the YouTube's terms of service.
Yeah. And against the law. Like, that's harassment.
That's
If you're saying bullying, yeah.
bullying. If you're calling people to harass someone,
Yeah.
yes, that would be. I'm not sure where the fine line is between freedom of speech, but I definitely know on YouTube here that was an illegal statement for him to say.
Yeah, so the first statement is fine, like called out. Okay, if you think someone's wrong, call them out. But to say bullied, they need to be
Nope.
bullied, that's harassment. That's calling others to
This
harass
video
them.
could easily get reported for that because that is a violation of YouTube's terms of service.
Yeah. And harassment
Not
is
say-
illegal.
I actually do not want anyone to report this video. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I want this to be here as a highlighted thing saying
Yeah.
this is what it is. I
This is what
I
it's
don't like
always to.
YouTube's strict policies. I rather be able to call out stupid ideas and have the stupid ideas there forefront for people to see and be able to laugh at.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
But again, called out. The first half of that, not
Yes.
bullied.
Thanks.
Big difference.
So that's the background for the setup. And I think that David Wood was actually very nervous about these debates. He doesn't really seem to like organic interactions between me and him.
Very-
Evidence, 2 pieces of evidence for this. One, he's blocked me on Twitter. He blocked me a while back.
Okay.
And
I can't talk to him anymore, therefore he's mean to me.
I say you guys should all go and bully them. But oh no, he blocked me on Twitter. What on earth? What kind of fantasy world are you living in where you should tell people to go bully people
to telling
and
people to bully people.
you
and
can't
then
block?
complain that they blocked me.
And what harm does that cause you, Daniel? If he blocks you on Twitter, David brags about blocking people all the time. Like
That's
you're
pretty
nothing
much- yeah.
special to him in regards to the block. Him blocking you doesn't mean like anything. Like David
You
just
annoy
likes
him.
blocking people.
You
It's
annoy
funny
him.
to
He's like,
him.
I'll block you today. Yeah, whatever.
It's a different approach
It's
than
a
we
joke
take,
to
but
him.
like, yeah, it doesn't matter. So strange. Go ahead.
and I haven't tweeted at him like hundreds of tweets. I maybe in the whole time, my whole Twitter career, or X as it's known, I've tweeted at David 10 or 12 times. And on most of those tweets, I'm ratioing him. So after the 5th or 6th or 7th ratio, he just blocks me. And I asked him actually at the conference, hey, David, why'd you block me? Because he came up and he
Or you just annoyed the snot out of him. In that case, he would block you. Or, like we said, he thought it would be funny. And if he thinks it is funny, he would then block you because that's just how David is. I mean, he found it funny that he was deleting a channel of 70...
It was
Yeah.
like almost 800,000
800,000 subscribers. He's like, I'll just delete it. It'll be funny.
Yeah.
like- Okay, his sense of humor is not like most people's sense of humor, just to let you know.
And if you let him know that you're getting under his, like, that
He is
he's getting
getting
under
under your
your skin, like,
He
you
would do it
seriously
more.
care so much that he blocked you? Like, way to tell him what to do to annoy you more. Like, what on earth? Like,
These guys never learned. These guys actually not learned anything.
yeah. And again, on one hand, Haqiqatjou is someone who is calling for the literal execution of David Wood.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's what his,
He said
his
that at
goal would
the-
be.
He said that at this debate,
Yeah.
that one of our speakers there, that was his home church, and he is one of the nicest guys I know. He has not ripped up the Quran like me. So you would be one that you would consider to be a respectful Christian. The Muslims would consider him to be a respectful Christian. He's very good. He's very articulate. And he just asked if I were to preach, if I were to go, as Jesus said, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing him in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Daniel admits that he would be executed.
Yeah.
He would be put to death for that.
And Daniel wants Sharia. And that's what Sharia wants, is the execution of Christians who actually practice Christianity. So it's like, so on one hand, but he can't stand being blocked on Twitter or on X or whatever. It's like, what on earth?
Yeah, not like me. Not like me. No, he's much nicer.
Leif, your comment works fine without the JK on the end. Just see.
So says my wife. Okay, going on.
He was like, "Oh, will you shake my hand? Will you shake my hand, Daniel?" It's like, "No, I'm not going to shake your hand. You are a pro-genocidal proponent of this kind of brutal starvation campaign. You're mocking Palestinians who are starving to death.
No.
So why would I even look at you?"
No.
Now, all of that could be said about him if he puts Sharia in place. Since he wants Sharia, everything he just said, accused David of, could be said about him. I'm not saying it about him, but could definitely be said about him. And yet David's willing to shake his hand.
So, to my knowledge, though, what David made fun of were people who were claiming to be starving but super overweight.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, that's the context. Now, I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that that's what's being referred to as far as, like, making fun of hungry, starving Palestinians. It's like, nah, he's just like, dude, if they're starving, then why are they super overweight? Like, they don't look like they're
I definitely
starving.
made fun of Palestinians definitely whenever they had the commercials go on and say, "Oh, for Ramadan they might go hungry."
Yeah.
What do you mean they're fasting?
Yeah.
They're supposed to go hungry. That's the point of Ramadan, right? That's what I've been told. 30 days of fasting from all the Muslims.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't get to feast every single night. You might not be able to eat. Because if I said, as a Christian, I fasted from food and drink for 30 days, that means no food or drink for 30 days. That doesn't just mean, wow, just when it's convenient.
Yeah.
Or if I accidentally forget to drink, or if drink just happens to accidentally fall into my mouth, which actually is a condition, which is kind of like, why did that need to be put in there? I'm just okay.
Yeah. But Daniel's whole thing is Christians need to hate Jews more. So if that is the way that Daniel sees what Christians should do to those that they oppose, if Christians oppose Palestinians, how should Christians act towards Palestinians according to Daniel? This is really weird. So Christians aren't even taking it to any of the extremes that he's saying that Christians should take it towards Jews. And he's twisting these things that Christians are doing anyway. Christians are normally, in the circumstances that I see, saying, hey, something doesn't look right. This whole like genocide against Palestinians doesn't really seem to be a genocide.
It seems to be a very poor genocide because it just doesn't seem to be working very well.
And Christians are the ones that are like, no, of course we don't want genocide. Like, of course we want everyone to come to the knowledge of the truth of Jesus Christ and be saved by him. David even made that clear, crystal clear in this debate, in the second debate with Daniel. So it's just weird. Everything is just twisted and malicious that's coming out of his mouth right now.
And then I said, you want to shake my hand, but didn't you block me? Like, didn't you cut off the interaction? So don't pretend like you're being congenial and that you're so open to make nice with me as a Muslim because you're so tolerant. You love everyone, but you blocked me, David. Why? Why'd you block me?
It really bugged him. It wasn't really bugged him. I'm going to have to block him after this, just because. I'm going to block him on Twitter just to mess with him.
And then he gave some stammering response like, Anyway, so that's evidence number one. He's blocking me because he doesn't want to get ratioed.
No.
Number two, he proposed the debate format, and conspicuously, the debate format doesn't involve any open discussion. He did not want any open discussion.
By the way. He told me he would have been fine with it if that's something Haqiqatjou wanted, but he proposed a debate outline, and Haqiqatjou stuck with it.
Yeah,
so
he didn't complain at all. He didn't object at all. He didn't say, well, I'd like to have a crossfire. No, And now, granted, whenever we were talking about originally with the debate topic, he was insistent upon those debates. You have to do it this way. So it's like a trade-off, right? So at any point, it's not that he was like, oh, I was just being nice. I didn't want to push back at all.
Yeah.
I didn't want to demand anything. It's like, no, you already did. So yeah, saying, hey, I'd like to have a crossfire. Can we have a crossfire?
Yeah.
No, he didn't say anything about it. And again, getting him to respond at all was pulling teeth.
Yeah.
And it was like, we're looking at weeks out, and we don't have a confirmation on anything from Haqiqatjou. Okay, we like started this thing months ago, and then we're like a couple weeks out from the debate, and we're like, are we having the debate? Are we not having the debate? I want to put the schedule out so people know what is going on, but Haqiqatjou has said nothing.
Well, not given real confirmation.
Yeah, it's like, well, maybe.
Lots of back and forth and then long pauses. So
Yeah,
but
like,
he could have.
At one point, we're like, okay. In fact, I remember telling you, it's like, okay, we're done. We're done. The debate's over. He did not meet the deadline. We gave him a deadline. Let's say 24 hours. Give us an answer in 24 hours. Confirm one way or the other so we can get these things moving. And he failed to meet that.
But we gave grace.
We gave him grace after the fact because it's like right after that, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. But we had to give him a deadline. We had to say, you had time. You have to get this done. And then finally he owns up.
I didn't push it. I said, okay, fine. Let's just go
agreed.
with the format that David Wood wants. But I found it strange because usually there's an open discussion period or there's some kind of way to interrogate the other side. But he didn't include that in the debate.
He took part of his. So stupid. He took part of his rebuttal in, what was it, the first one or the second one?
Yeah, one of those.
One of them. And he literally sat there and just started asking David questions. And it was one-sided, and David's smart enough to say, I'll eat up your time. Sure. And then finally Daniel's at the end like, well, you can respond to me in your closing argument, because he realized what David was doing. It's because you were asking him valid questions. You should give him time to respond. And we do have a super chat here from Eli.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Eli.
you, brother.
We really appreciate your support. And it was so good to have you at the conference as well.
Yes, it was fantastic to see you.
We do have a valid question from TH. So TH says, also, if Jesus is a sinless human according to Islam, that makes him the best example of mankind. There's literally no reason to not follow him.
Exactly.
And yet,
Absolutely.
Muhammad was so sinful that he needed forgiveness from all of his past, present, and future sins, according to the Quran. And he had to constantly be asking for forgiveness from Allah, which, of course, is what Allah actually wants, because if you were not to have sinned, he would have wiped you out with someone who would have sinned and sought his forgiveness. But
this is a
wild
response.
stuff. Yes, but that's too much logic.
Yeah. That would be too much.
Yeah, also, Leif also points out, not to mention, David allowed Daniel to go over by 2 minutes in his opening statement. Can I have some grace, David?
Yep, he begged David for more time, even though that's what he agreed to. Thaddeus pointed out afterwards, and I think he's right, that Daniel did not practice his first debate. That's why he had to ask for extra time. It's because he didn't know the pacing. Man, whenever I was doing that debate, whenever I've done a debate before, I practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. Know the pacing.
Haqiqatjou said he spent quite a lot of time preparing for this and every other debate. So he's probably just not good at it.
I would say either you suck at preparation or you are lying, which I think the other Dawaists would say that you're lying.
Okay, whatever. Maybe there was limited time. Maybe he just wanted to keep it to formal responses. But it's good to have like at least open dialogue where there's a chance to go back and forth and ask questions directly, get responses directly.
You could have asked him the question to add in questions.
That's when you got owned in your other debates. So I don't think you want that. I think you want to whine about it. But I think you were pretty happy when David didn't suggest it.
But David didn't want that. What do we make of that? You decide.
I just did.
So this, before we go on, let me just remind you to subscribe to our newsletter. You can find the link in the description below. Don't forget to like the video.
After all, you might not know that he's lying to you until you get this newsletter.
Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Now I see that there is a top fans feature within
We
YouTube.
can probably just skip
Let me check. Who are the top fans? Subscribing.
Figures out how
Or-
YouTube works.
Oh, so if you want to be the top fan, don't forget. But try to get to the top. So the setting for this debate, they were having this conference, share and seek truth or something.
Seek and share truth.
Pretty
It was on the banner behind your head.
It's all right.
It was everywhere. It's like everywhere.
Like that. Seek truth, share truth, something like that. And a bunch of these Christian.
I agree to speak at a conference. I don't remember what the name is.
That's fine. Whatever.
But I did all my research.
Well, I mean, the more important thing is that he doesn't want to seek truth and he doesn't want to share truth. That's far more concerning to me than him remembering that the title is Seek and Share Truth, but whatever.
Apologists were involved. Apus was involved. David.
Yeah, man. Yes, he was at one point, but definitely he didn't even get to meet you, which is unfortunate. But things are what they are. I mean, AP had to go for his own reasons, and they're valid reasons. But yeah, he definitely did have to leave early. But I know if you heard that, though, if Daniel heard that, he would claim, "Oh, see, David, AP knew I was coming, and he ran from me."
AP knew he was coming before.
I was like, man, I really wanted to stay around for the debate.
Yeah. He purposely submitted a question for him, too. So
True.
Bunch of the same losers. And they rented out a church in some, backwater area of Ohio.
If you're from Youngstown and you're in my chat because of the Seek and Share Truth conference, you are now a backwater. It's a little rundown. It's seen better days, but still a pretty big town.
it's number 11 as far as the cities in Ohio are ranked. Like, it's the 11th biggest city in Ohio.
But it wasn't good enough for him. Wasn't good enough. If you guys don't recognize there's a trend, he wants to whine about everything.
And it took so long to get there. You have to drive, like, it's over almost 2 hours, hour and a half or 2 hours from the airport, the major airport, really far out in maybe a rural, more even Ohio in general is rural, but this was even more rural than I expected.
Point to one cornfield.
I need to get that quote from Princess Bride. I don't think that word means what you think it means, because a city is not rural. Buddy, if you saw nothing but cornfields for the last 30 minutes, okay, that's rural. Man.
Youngstown, like, steel industry, whatever, city, like, not what I would call rural, but okay. Like, why does it matter anyway? So what? So what? What does that have to do with literally anything?
Like I say,
at all.
Complain about everything. But it's just incredibly funny that he doesn't even know how his words are.
Yeah.
No.
Leif says, LOL, Youngstown is not rural. Lodi is rural, not Youngstown.
Yeah, the other
LOL.
place that we had the bonus ones are, those were rural. It was like, there's the church, and then there's cornfields. And it's like, if you don't think you're in the middle of nowhere, good luck. Man, it would have been funnier to have them debate there.
And that's the venue. It was maybe 100 to 150 people there, almost all Christians. And as you saw,
Wonder why? Why would they be all Christians? Almost
Not all,
all
yeah.
Christians, because there were some Muslims there. Almost all Christians. When you posted repeatedly about you coming to this thing, where are all your fans?
Not very far from, like, two pretty big mosques.
Yeah.
Like, two very big mosques.
Yeah, that no Muslims came. Very few. According to him, almost no Muslims came out to support him at all. I wonder why. Is that because you're the shirk apologist? Is that why?
It was a very hostile crowd, as you'd expect. Every time I do an in-person debate with Modern Day Debates, he's the one that James of Modern Day Debates is the one who organizes, for example, Debate Con, the convention. It's going to be a hostile environment.
Pause. Remind me, was it James of Modern Day Debate that said we should bully people?
Nope.
Was it David Wood who said we should bully people?
Nope.
Was it Apostate Prophet who said we should bully people?
Nope.
Did I say we should bully people?
Not to my knowledge.
Did you say we should bully people?
Not in those exact words. No, I did not.
Did anyone in the audience say we should bully people?
Nope. That would be Jake. Well, not Jake, but
Daniel. Yeah, Daniel Haqiqatjou is the one who said that Christians should be bullied, but he's in this hostile environment, an environment that welcomed him with open arms, said, hey, we would love to have you join us at this conference. We would love to have you be a part of this debate. We would love to hear your responses to the Islamic dilemma. We would love to hear what you have to say about which religion portrays Jesus more respectfully, Islam or Christianity. His debate topic, again, we would love to hear what you have to say. And we would love to share love and truth with you. And we would love for you to accept love and truth, which is Christ. That's not hostile. What part of that is hostile? What on earth?
Life has an interesting point. Yeah.
What? A Christian conference had a bunch of Christians in a church of all places?
Who knew? Going to a church and find Christians. Huh. Now, just a reminder, Muslims will not do debates at mosques. They only do them at churches. So that being said, the only place that we could have him at is the church. So.
Because it's either going to be filled with atheists who hate me personally, like they have a personal animosity towards me because of all the debates that I've done on Modern Day Debates, or it's going to be a Christian audience, and they're also going to be extremely hostile.
Why,
or it's going to be
though?
a combination of both.
Maybe calling them all, war criminals, at least implying that they're all war criminals, that this is what they're supporting, that they're the problem, that they should be killed. In fact, the whole point of the conference would get you executed, according to him, at least should get you executed, according to him. Yeah, okay. And that your God is a rapist.
Yeah.
And he raped a 12-year-old girl because someone somewhere wrote it down that I happen to read and that no Christian actually agrees with, but that is so totally your Christian theology. That might be a little hostile. Might be a little upset about that. Fine. I know if I started going up there and I were to go off on Muhammad, the Muslims would be upset, and then you would say that's justified.
But
there's a double standard there.
Yeah. Why is it that he's saying that any debate he does is inherently going to be people who aren't Muslims? Again, Daniel invited lots of people.
Where is his support from the Ummah?
And we really were hoping that a lot more Muslims were to come. We're really grateful for the Muslims who did come.
Yeah, I was disappointed by the Muslim turnout.
Yeah, I mean, he talks later. I think he says there were like 15 or something. I'm not sure how many there were. I didn't actually do a head count or anything. I didn't check the sign-in book to see how many people there were. I am actually curious, but haven't done that. Because the point was connecting with the people, not just taking a number. But regardless, why were there not more? Why at all your other things that you do are there not more? Are there people that support you? It seems like you're really frustrated by this fact. I don't know. It's strange.
Let's just say the majority of the people who came out there, I think there might have been 3 or 4 Muslims who probably came out just to support Daniel here.
There were a lot more than that.
There were more than that, but I don't know how many specifically came out to support him. So let's say, you know what? Let's be charitable. Let's say all of them, and let's say you want Daniel's numbers right. Let's say 15. A good portion of the other ones were there there was a large number to support David. There's a larger number to support David.
So I knew it was going to be hostile, but this was even to another level of hostility. This was comparable to when I debated Matt Dillahunty, and Matt Dillahunty was getting so angry. He was like dropping F-bombs and wanted to actually...
Didn't watch that one.
No,
Didn't
but
care enough.
again, if you're saying it's on this level, when is one time that David Wood dropped an F-bomb or literally anyone in the audience?
Not a
I didn't
single one.
hear that? What do you mean it's on that level? Oh, what?
Attack me. That's the
Wait,
level of
go back.
hostility
Yeah, that's what I was trying.
that we saw from the audience at this church.
So this is his big accusation. Ready? Leif, you're a witness.
Was like dropping F-bombs and wanted to actually attack me. That's the level of hostility that we saw from the audience at this church. So
That the church, they wanted to physically attack him.
No, we had security
No.
to protect him from being attacked. We had security measures in place to protect him from being attacked.
And we never even got close to that level. We ate food with him. We sat down and had dinner with him. No one tried to attack him at all.
Yeah, free food, by the way, for
Free food
everyone.
that he
Muslims,
benefited
Christians,
from.
anyone else.
Yep,
Yeah.
that he ate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was very aggressive of us.
so it's like a church venue, and we're speaking there, and the Christians are shouting out like they don't care about any decorum of the church.
Okay.
They don't care.
Well, you were asking them questions, and they were replying to your questions. So if you ask, audience, is XYZ true? And then they answer you. That's not them yelling at you because they hate you. It's them replying to what you asked them. In fact, that's the first time that you hear the audience on the debates. And the first one was specifically because Daniel Haqiqatjou asked them a question. Now, he might say, well, that was just a rhetorical question. But no, it was an actual question. He asked, hey, audience. He addressed it to them and then asked them. And he didn't get the answer he wanted, so therefore they are attacking him.
Yeah, we have a comment in the chat that says, from Gabriel, it says, wait a second. He's complaining about a hostile environment and he won't even shake David's hand? That's pretty hypocritical, yeah.
Yes, so he started off making it hostile.
And called for the
himself.
bullying of Christians.
And called it called for the execution of the guy at the conference that was literally representing the church.
Yeah. If he were in a Sharia compliant area, which is what Haqiqatjou was.
Yes.
Wild.
So it's a bit of an issue.
About anything of that nature, and I was I like that. I like a hostile environment.
Then he wanted it. Why are you whining about it?
Yeah.
If you wanted it and you're like, I really like a hostile environment, that's exactly what I wanted.
But these Christians at a church were
Then
hostile.
why
What?
are you complaining about it?
Oh,
As
maybe
long
he's
as
complaining because it wasn't hostile enough for him.
Maybe not. Maybe he didn't get someone trying to stab him.
He has
That's
to-
what he
He
wanted.
has to make things up in order for it to sound hostile.
Yeah, the people that were there giving him food, serving him what he wanted, offering him drinks. Yeah, sounds really hostile
Ooh.
there.
This is a little bit off topic, but real quick, for anybody who doesn't know, Daniel Haqiqatjou runs Muslim Skeptic. That's the name of his thing that he
YouTube
does.
channel, yeah.
Player Faint points out, isn't his skepticism a sort of doubt about his religion?
Yes, and any doubt in Islam is apostasy.
Yeah, no second chances.
Nope. Get out of my house, you're a kafir.
I get a chance to respond to the hostility, as long as I get my piece. So when you're a speaker and the audience is heckling you, there should be a certain limit on that. There should be a...
Were there heckling? Yes.
Was there a limit on it? Yes.
Was Daniel continuing to stoke the fire of the heckling? Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
He was feeding that thing faster than you say goodbye.
He was harassing the audience way more than anyone in the audience did anything to him. He was calling the audience repeatedly autistic. He was calling the audience
Drunkards.
fat. Yeah, he kept saying things like lay off the booze.
Yeah, and that was the response of lay off the booze, man. Why don't you guys why are they all drunk? is because we were replying to his comment, his question, the way he didn't want them. And because we didn't reply the way he wanted, because we were already gilded against those lies, he implied that, oh, you're all drunkards. You're all, you need lay off the booze, man. Lay off the booze.
But yeah, and we're all agents.
Yes. We're all agents. All the people here are agents. They're all just trying to kill the innocent people. Okay, well, I can understand why someone might be a little upset. Definitely if you have people who are your family relatives in Gaza and you have a speaker up there who's accusing you of wanting them murdered in cold blood, it's good. Okay, they can be a little upset. I'll give you that.
Limit to the amount of heckling that the audience can do before security gets involved and removes you, because then people are there to hear the speaker, even if they hate the speaker. If you're over talking the speaker, you're not letting him speak, then security needs to get involved.
Pause.
You mean like you were doing today to David? Because if I were to use your same standard, one, you were inciting the people in the group. Should they have had more self-control? Sure. But you were the one who was inciting them. You are the one who was interrupting David and talking over him. So if anyone is in violations, that would have been you. On top of that, you used your time to make a non-political, specifically non-political conference into a political one. In that by itself, I would have been in my rights as one of the co-hosts of this event to have you escorted out. That was a nasty move, and I allowed you to continue to talk because I prefer to hear even your bad ideas than to just kick you out. But at the same time, I'm going to give grace to the people that you're inciting.
Fortunately, the organizers of this conference, they didn't care. They apparently didn't care that I'm getting shouted down. I'm not allowed to speak.
Again, you were inciting them. So if you were to stop continuously to incite them, then yes, we definitely should step in. And if it was for some reason that they were heckling you for no apparent reason, that you weren't inciting them at all, then yes, we would have definitely stepped in at that point. But if you're causing it, then you would have been the one that I would have had to have asked to leave, logically speaking.
Which
And
you
I don't
admitted
think
you wanted.
Yeah,
Like,
you admitted that was your point. You wanted this. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to allow you as a speaker to do what you want within grace. But if you're making them reply in a certain way, I think they should have more self-control, yes. But I can't throw them out without throwing you out.
And again, security was ready to go. Security was ready to get involved if needed. James was ready to get further involved if needed. This is very clear. We were ready to get involved if further needed. But this is just wild to make these assertions. Again, meanwhile, Daniel is like throwing false accusations, lies, slandering the audience, calling them names, intentionally bullying, just as he said he thinks that like we should be bullied. It's just wild stuff.
Because they didn't remove anyone. And James, the moderator, people shouldn't really blame James because James is not the organizer of the conference. He's not the owner of the venue. He didn't hire the security. There was a police officer there and they were checking bags at the front. And I think that I don't know if that was directed towards Muslims because there were about maybe 10, 15 Muslims in the audience as well. And alhamdulillah, we had a good time. Usually when...
Okay, so if there are 10 to 15 Muslims in the audience, just math, right? Math. You said 150.
Yeah, he said 100 to 150 and 10 to 15. So that's, yeah.
Literally 10% of the people who came were Muslim. If I'm having security and I was there at the checkpoint, if I'm having security check bags, 90% of the people who are getting checked are the Christians. And guess what? Just to let you guys know, Daniel Haqiqatjou's bags weren't checked.
Yeah.
I specifically waved him through.
The police officer was about to.
I gave him
but-
permission to come in without getting his bags checked because I thought, well, if I were to require him to get his bags checked, then I would have to require David to get his bags checked. And I didn't require David to get his bags checked. So why on earth would I do that to Daniel?
Yeah.
Just to be fair.
And there were more Christians with bags than Muslims.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I don't even think, I'm trying to think, there might have been like one or two
Yeah,
of those 15 that had bags. Most of them came in without bags. And if you had a small enough, like little teeny weeny like phone case that we could see through, we didn't require you to check that anyway. So, you're fine. So it wasn't like we were not in any way, shape, or form targeting Muslims. If anything, the case could be made that we were targeting Christians, because the Christians are the ones who are most likely to bring in bags. And that was a request by the venue. Because if we did not check the bags, the venue itself, the church, was going to insist that no one have bags at the conference. And in that case, I would have had to stop Haqiqatjou because he came with a rather large bag. And I would have had to have told him that you cannot bring that in here, that you need to go set it out. I didn't do that. And we facilitated what was needed with the church as well. So both sides were completely, as far as I knew, both sides were completely happy. Security was taken care of. Everyone was good. But yet we don't take, so in the first breath, we don't take security seriously enough. In the second breath, you guys so totally took security too much. In fact, it was even to target the Muslims. I don't know this for sure, but it was definitely seen that way.
Yeah, it's everything, it seems like, in this video. Oh, not enough security, too much security. Not enough harassment, too much harassment. What on earth?
Can you not even go through like 5 minutes without lying? I don't think so.
The brothers come, when Muslims come to these in-person debates, we hang out after and we have a good time, and we go somewhere and eat some good.
Oh no, he ran.
Yeah,
he was out.
We hung out with the Muslims afterwards.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
hung
see
out.
Haqiqatjou anywhere to
No,
be seen.
he was like, as soon as the debate's gone, he's out of there. He was gone. He ran.
And we're the ones who provided food. Again, for the Muslims, for the Christians, for
And we
the
still had food
agnostics,
there.
for
We
whoever.
still had everything. We still had drinks available for the conversation. We had conversations, I think, into the wee hours of night until the church was kicking us out, basically.
Yeah, we had cookies. We had like popcorn. We had so much. Like, we're the ones who hung out with the Muslims.
And giving them things. And then Haqiqatjou was like, oh, well, normally we'd hang out, but we didn't. Well, okay. Why didn't you? You could have stayed. You could have had a conversation.
And if it's such a hostile environment, why did all the other Muslims who stayed stay?
And on top of that, he went through the front door. Normally, if you have a hostile environment, you got to get him out through like the back door. And no, he literally just like grabbed his bags and left with his group of groupies, and that was it.
If there was police there, which there was, if there was something wrong that was done, the police could have stepped in at any point. Yeah.
Yes.
If this was something that was so wrong, why didn't he take it to the police? They were right there.
And you guys can see it on the debates. The debates will be public. I think it goes out in about an hour and a half. In the second debate, I know that both debates are currently on Modern Day Debate. No one tried to attack Haqiqatjou at all.
And you would definitely see
No one
those clips
threatened.
circulating if that was the case. Yeah.
Yeah, no one threatened him, because believe me, if someone threatened him, he'd be calling that out.
Yeah.
So no one threatened him. No one tried to attack him. No one got in his way. We accommodated him and gave him food. And I continue, if you watch me in the video, every time I went up there, I checked to make sure that he got his water. He had what he needed. I checked and asked if he needed anything else. I checked David, see if he needed anything else, and then went with it. So, okay, no, you could have hung out. You decided not to.
Out of food. But there were 10 to 15. Maybe the police were there to check the Muslims specifically.
No.
I wouldn't put past them.
If anything, then we want to make sure the Muslim. I want to make sure he was good. He was protected. Because I don't. It's all good. But yeah, we had security there. If we didn't have security there, then you'd be complaining again in this section that we didn't take security good enough. We didn't even care about security.
And yeah, so the security wasn't getting involved. They're heckling. And okay, if you're
Too much
Too much
involvement,
security.
not enough involvement. How dare they?
I can't keep track. I can't keep track anymore, dude. You've gone around in circles. Stop drilling.
gonna heckle, if you're going to dish it, you got to take it. I'm going to give it back to you.
You started giving it before anyone gave it to you, bud.
Yeah.
I watched those debates over and over and over again.
Asking a logical question gets returned by, that's autistic. What on earth? Why?
I'm going to say some things that are going to make you very, very angry. And in the second debate, especially, I think they were really disappointed at David's performance in the first debate. It didn't go how they expected, maybe.
No.
And then
No, I mean, that literally went exactly how I expected it for the first debate.
Yeah,
Actually,
the first debate
if
was
anything,
beautiful.
if anything, Danny Haqiqatjou underperformed.
Yeah.
I expected better performance out of Danny Haqiqatjou. I was hoping he would give at least a decent run at it. And it seemed that, guess what? He didn't do it. He phoned in his debate for the first one and focused all he had on the second one and trying to enrage everyone as much as possible. And when that didn't work, then he started specifically attacking Christians themselves, because that's what happened. So
the second debate, where I'm just railing on them for their support of genocide and showing their hypocrisy, like this self.
Who was being railed on?
He just proved my point. He's like, oh yeah, I was railing on them. I was attacking them left and right. Oh no, they heckled me a little bit and might have spoken up when I asked them questions. And oh, the Egyptian didn't like it when I called him a Mossad agent.
Yeah.
They didn't like that.
A Mossad agent, a token brown person, Baldy, just completely going after him and the audience as a whole.
And it got a little heated. Again, no fists were thrown.
Yeah.
No actual harm. It was all verbal. That's it.
Meanwhile, when there was outreach to Muslims as part of this conference, which he talks about elsewhere, I think it's with Paul that he brings that up.
He accuses us of harassing them.
Yeah, which it wasn't. The mosque literally had to announce for people to hold back their fists against the Christians and not physically assault the Christians who showed up to love the Muslims.
And guess what? Invite them to your debate, Haqiqatjou, because you can't seem to get anyone to even come support you. And guess what? Some of those that came there, those 15, one, two,
The
I think
15
at
might
least,
be accurate.
No, I'm counting the people that I knew came from the mosque that we specifically invited to the debate. At least 5 of them were from the mosque that we invited to the debate and would not have come except for our outreach, because they wouldn't want to have supported you to begin with. So sorry, but don't complain when we are helping you.
Self-image that, oh, you're loving Christians, you just love everyone, that's just a farce. That's just some slop that you tell yourselves to make yourselves feel better. But the reality is that you're supporting the worst genocides that we've ever seen, and Christians are involved too. These are Palestinian Christians as well as Muslims that are the victims of this genocide.
Again, if anyone innocent dies, that is a tragedy. Period. Including all the other Muslims who are being killed that you're not focusing on. Yes.
Leif, who was at the mosque, said, correct. At the mosque, they said, oh, and remember, do not raise your fists. They needed a reminder to not do that.
Do not start just whacking on the Christians. Hey, I didn't have to make an announcement before Haqiqatjou got there. Hey, Christians, just a reminder, do not punch Haqiqatjou. No, I didn't have to do that at all.
Yeah.
So they were very angry. And then they asked me specifically about the in the Q&A portion, someone asked me about the age of Aisha. And he kind of made a fumbling He didn't even put it in terms of a question. He just said like, "Oh, wasn't Aisha 9 years old or something like that?" Radiallahu anha. So then I started the standard response that now this is my standard if I'm talking to Christians. I talk about according to your theology, there's the begotten son. Jesus is begotten. There's some kind of biological implication, a reproductive implication. So
Not reproductive.
Not at all. And believe me, because of how you debated, I know you don't understand Christian theology at all. But okay, continue.
if that's the case, then the whole idea of a birth from Mary, it takes on these overtones of sexual assault.
Real quick.
And
So this is how Daniel Haqiqatjou respects Jesus, by calling him the child of rape.
Yep. That was what he said up on stage in front of Christians.
That's his
And
respect.
the Christian response to him was source, verse. Give us chapter and verse. Where are you getting this? Source. And that's what he calls enraged, is us requiring source for an obvious lie and slander against us.
rape. And look at this verse, look at this
go ahead and remind us so we
passage.
can hear that thought together, because I did not mean to cut that off, but just listen
From
closely.
Mary, it takes on these overtones of sexual assault and rape.
No, Mary, even if you want to say that it was sexual,
Which it was.
Mary conceded to it. She gave permission for whatever the Lord was going to do. She gave permission to it.
She said, "My soul magnifies the Lord." She was excited about this opportunity.
So no, it's clear you never read the scriptures at all.
And look at this verse, look at this passage. And as we know from many early sources,
Wait, pause.
Mary-
He's saying, look at the sources. He wouldn't even give
He
a
didn't
chapter
want
and
to give
verse.
it chapter and verse.
He wouldn't give.
He wouldn't give it.
verse.
He wouldn't give chapter and verse for this. He gave chapter and verse. He gave a reference for what he claims to be the age, which I think comes up here shortly. So let's go ahead and hit that.
Mary was only 12 years old.
Chapter and verse.
Even if she were 18, like, oh no, she was 18 years old. You know, exactly as we know, 18 years old to the day, not a day, not a minute before 18. So we know that's the only acceptable age for Mary to get pregnant. Even if we concede that to the Christians, well, it still looks like it's forcible.
No, it
She's
doesn't.
being forcibly impregnated.
Not according to the sources, bud. And guess what? You have to go to an apocryphal account in order to get the 12-year-old statement. All the indications lead us to believe that she was late teens.
Even then, even if, like flipping what Daniel Haqiqatjou is saying on its head, even if we were to say, okay, what if she was 12, which we don't believe, but what if?
Greater than 9.
So what? Daniel Haqiqatjou said 11 months is fine. Parents are involved at that age, and if there are signs of maturity, that's all you need. You don't even need parents' involvement at that age, but he gives
Don't
that as
need
if
full
that
maturity.
makes it better.
Just signs.
Yeah, there are signs of maturity, which IP courted him in and showed, look, precocious puberty can start as young as 11 months. And his whole thing is if there are signs of maturity. So if an 11-month-old can have signs of maturity and that's all you need, what's wrong with 12 years old? Again, that's not what I'm saying. We know that Jesus called, was she 12? A young girl.
Oh,
And I
you're
think,
referring
was that a
to yes,
12-year-old?
that was 12-year-old.
Um,
12-year-old, yeah, young child.
And he called that, a young girl. Like, so
Would
clearly
prefer
that's
child-
not what
child.
he saw as like an adult whatever. And so that's not what we would think that Mary would be. But again, 11 months, 12 years old. One is 12
Little bit
years
of difference.
older than the other.
Little bit of difference, just FYI there, Haqiqatjou.
Yeah.
So,
And again, why would that be against her consent? Biblically, it's with her consent. So if you're going to chuck scripture, which again, the Quran affirms, out the window, you cannot be calling yourself a Muslim. No wonder these other Muslims call you not a Muslim. When you disregard everything that you need in order to be a Muslim and then claim to be one. Yeah.
By the Father, because it's, again, begotten Son. There's a biological implication with that. In Islam, we don't have that.
Really?
We don't have
Okay.
that.
So how did Mary get pregnant according to Islam?
Jibril came and physically blew the spirit of God into Mary.
I thought that was Allah.
Oh, spirit of Allah.
Allah blew into Mary, into her physical
Okay,
private
it
parts.
might be Allah. I don't know if I remember correctly. I thought it was Jibril. But if it's Jibril, which would be the most charitable option, is if it was Jibril.
Well, okay, so this is where it gets weird. So I just pulled up the Quran, so I understand the confusion now. So according to
It's not because because the Quran is perfectly clear in
perfectly
everywhere,
clear.
shape, or form.
So the clear Quran says there is, of course, some of these words are added to bring clarity where there is none. There is also the example of Mary, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity. So we breathed into her womb through our angel Gabriel. So Allah breathed into her private parts to get into her womb through an angel. Make that make sense. But either way, this is a physical act that's being done.
Wind itself is physical. So it's a physical act that Allah is doing through an angel into what he says is a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Again, that's his statement, not ours.
Sahih International says, and the example of Mary, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity, so we blew into her garment. Is what they added. They added her garment.
Blew into her. They
through
blew
our
her.
angel. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that is even worse.
Yeah, that's not what Christianity teaches. Christianity doesn't teach that there was this physical act involved. That's what Islam teaches. Yeah, Haqiqatjou is, again, projecting. They call me an agent, I'll call you an agent. They call me a fake Muslim, I'll call you a fake Christian. They call me a supporter of Israel, I'll call you a supporter of Israel. As if, yeah, whatever.
That implication of rape. Why? Because we say this is not biological, just like Allah created Adam, just as the Quran says.
Now you could say that
Says just so Allah created Adam without parents. Jesus was created without a father.
Jesus is
No, we just read the Quran. Dude, we just read it and you lied about what the Quran said. You said just in the Quran. Guess what? The Quran says that God blew Mary.
Yeah.
Blew into her a physical thing. And that's how Jesus was conceived. That's a physical act. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yeah, but Jesus is uncreated. In reality, in true scripture, in Christianity, Jesus is uncreated. So to say, oh, he was created without mother and father. No, he's uncreated. That's the point. Like, he is God. He's always been God. John 1 shows, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. Talks about how Jesus created all things. And John 1:14 shows the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Again, uncreated. Versus in Islam, this is the thing that's happening. So if you want to say she was 12 years old, are you saying that she was 12 years old when Allah blew into her? That's a problem. That's not respectful of Jesus at all.
Yes, it's a tablet. It's an eternal tablet. If I'm understanding the question correctly. That is with Jesus. That is with Allah. That he documented that he blew into her. Hey, he wants to make it sound like we're the ones who are doing something wrong. And this, again, is what he accused every Christian of believing and every Christian of supporting at the conference. And he so totally did not try to incite anything.
There's no biological connection between God and Jesus in Islam. Jesus is a creation just like any other creation.
What?
Again, we read it, but you can only lie when people don't look at the sources.
This is the Quran too. This isn't the Hadith, which Daniel himself says that if you reject the Hadith, you're blatantly a heretic. But yeah, Quran, Surah 66, Ayah 12. Look it up. Okay? Your sources, not ours. Your sources.
And it is so bad because I would not have made this argument. I wouldn't have actually made this a big deal, right? So what? Okay.
But because of Christian theology, because of that biological implication, then that has very dark implications for the story of the Immaculate Conception. So this is the answer that I started to give, and they knew where it is going, and they got so angry. They started shouting down. They were shouting down James. Like, shut it down, shut it down. And David started interrupting me, preventing me from speaking. So
they literally were just asking chapter and verse. That's what the audience was saying. They weren't shouting out James. They weren't shouting. The only thing they were shouting was chapter and verse. Give us chapter and verse because you're making all this up. And where does he go? He goes to the apocryphal accounts. No one called it for being shut down. No one was saying, James, shut it down, shut it down. I mean, we literally could have if that's what we wanted to. But that's not what happened.
That I like to show them their hypocrisy that we're Christians, we're tolerant of different perspectives, we don't get offended when Muslims,
we don't say we don't get offended. We get offended, sure, but we want you to actually show us where that is and not just talk out your rear end, which is what you are doing.
Insult Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they will chop off your head, they will block you from speaking, they don't like it when you talk about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Were we threatening to cut off your head? Because that wasn't a thing, but that's kind of what you're implying here. You're implying that we were threatening to kill you, which wasn't a thing, but that is a thing in Islam. So
but we Christians, we're so much more mature and intellectual, and we can consider different ideas, and we have this regime of free speech that we allow. Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see that at the conference.
Inviting someone that has opposite views to come speak, that is definitely not free speech. It's definitely not free speech to allow you to continue to harass the audience the entire time. By the way, if we had hate speech laws, he would be facing jail time according to those. So there's that. Definitely in the UK, he would be in big trouble in the UK for a lot of what he said. But no, we allowed it to continue and we allowed him to do it. But we didn't protect him against what he caused.
Which he said he wanted. He said he wanted it to be a hostile environment.
He likes it. He said earlier he likes it.
So that's
yeah, he has some medical issue that's like these.
No, it's him laughing. That's his laugh. He's like,
dude, you need to get that checked out. That's probably something, because I don't know how many times in this stream he does it. And then I watch some of the other ones, and he does it like nonstop. And
it's him laughing. That's his laugh.
Oh, dude, get that checked out. That may not be something that you might want. Okay, I mean, it might be nothing, but it doesn't sound natural.
That's some of the background for you at this church in the backwaters of Ohio. And it was a good time. Alhamdulillah. And James did a really good job with the.
This ain't on every single thing. Pause. This ain't on every single thing.
It was a good time. It was a good time. They harassed me. They were about ready to kill me. They wanted to chop off my head. They wanted to attack me physically. It was a good time.
Did he say about the chop off head in this?
Well, he's saying we are so compassionate. We don't want anyone to be chopped off. He implied that we wanted to chop off his head. Is what he implied.
Yeah, he's the one who's okay with capital punishment of Christians in Islamic-run states. He wants that, and he wants an Islamic-run state. So,
Yeah, but it's a fun time. It's a fun time. So I'm glad we showed him a fun time, according to his standards.
yeah.
Even though he spent, the first 20 minutes of his live stream complaining about it.
Anthony Rogers said we should clip pieces and parts of Daniel complaining about our conference for the promo for next year. But this part would be great.
This part
it was a good time.
It was a good time. Even Daniel Haqiqatjou says it is a good time. There you go. That's all we got to do. Just clip that.
I think you guys like the quality. So I uploaded the first debate on the Islamic dilemma to the channel. You can watch that. It's about 2.5 hours long. And the second debate, I'm not sure if I'm going to upload it to YouTube. We'll see. I think the Christians will mass report it. The Zionists are going to mass.
Why?
Why would we
Zionists would mass report it? Because he's calling us out. He's calling all of us out. No, he's just badgering the audience the entire time. He's too ashamed to actually post it. That's why we're posting it on Act 17 Polemics, just because, well, he is really too embarrassed to let this out. Because, one, if you do this in a debate setting, it's a big black mark against you because you did not keep your word. So in the future, no one's going to want to debate you because you don't keep your word. And it's very obvious in that, once you watch it in context, that that's what happened. That's why he's putting the spin on it.
On his debate topic that he chose. Yes. Yeah, that he's now too embarrassed to let be seen. So weird.
Yeah, but he still totally crushed it, according to him.
Yeah.
He still totally did. Just trust me, bro. Just trust me.
Let's report it. So I think I'm going to just include highlights of that debate on the channel and then link it to Rumble. And you can watch the full debate on Rumble if you want. And maybe you'll find that interesting if you want to watch David Wood squirm and feel and look very, very uncomfortable and out himself as a Zionist agent.
On YouTube? And at what point did...
Just clips. He's just going to post clips. Because after all, the Christians might mass report the entire thing, but they definitely can't find out how to report the clips.
Yeah.
That logic makes no sense at all.
Speaking of things that we're tossing out the window with logic, if David was this Zionist agent, this brilliant Zionist agent, why didn't David agree to debate on Zionism? Why didn't David agree to debate on the support of Israel? Why didn't David agree to debate on anything related to Zionism or Israel at all? If he really wants this message to go out to the world that we absolutely have to be Zionists, that we absolutely have to be Christian Zionists, that we absolutely have to support Israel.
Knowing that, he could have requested that as a topic at the conference. He's done it for 3 years now, and at no point, at least at the Seek and Share Truth conference, has he ever requested that. And I've never seen him talk on this topic in public at all, including the other conferences that we've gone at. It would be perfectly within his ability to say, hey, Eric, hey, L, I really want to talk about X topic. Can we talk about X topic? No, he's never done that. Ever.
That was the ultimate result of that debate. He would not make any kind of condemnatory statement against Judaism.
He said everyone needs Christ.
He did it twice in the debate. And he's like, I don't know how clearly I could say this. No one gets into heaven, period. The Jews are not saved if they do not believe that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. It doesn't happen. No Muslim is saved if they do not believe that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. It's the same. And David made it very clear. The only thing is, I think he used too much Christianese, and Daniel can't understand Christianese because he was never an actual Christian. And any claim of that is just absolute garbage because he doesn't even understand the basics of Christian theology.
For its insults and attacks on Jesus with the worst kind of theology against Jesus Christ.
Pause.
So it was...
Who insulted Jesus? Who called him the son of rape?
Well, that doesn't count because that was Daniel Haqiqatjou, so that doesn't count.
was definitely a disaster for David, and this is why, like, he avoids at all costs any kind of. He says, "Oh, I don't do politics. I don't debate politics." Okay, yeah, you don't debate it, but you're certainly talking a lot about it. You're certainly posting and tweeting and making videos about it, but you just don't want to debate it. I wonder why.
Maybe he doesn't want to debate it at a Christian conference, which is specifically about apologetics. Maybe it's called knowing your audience. But let's be honest, I don't think Haqiqatjou has that ability.
Maybe the audience isn't Christian Zionists or Jews who need to hear about support for Israel. Yeah. Wild that David would choose to share the gospel over defend Israel's right to exist. Weird.
You can even see that in that debate, because it's not, the debate goes off topic immediately. Daniel has the opening and immediately goes way off topic. And David's sitting like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Because I'm not going to debate this off topic thing. I'm not going to follow him down these rabbit trails. I'm going to take his bait that he's throwing out left and right. All these accusations he's throwing out have nothing to do with the agreed topic. And David will agree to stay on topic. So instead, he starts relating it to needing salvation, needing Christ, giving the gospel message. And that's what he chose to do, not defend Zionism. He chose to give the gospel message. And that right there should speak volumes.
And if it was just to please his Zionist overlords, why would he say that at all? Why would he prioritize the gospel if that's such an offense to these Zionist overlords who disrespect Jesus so much? It makes no sense. Daniel's arguments defeat themselves over and over and over. Yet he's unwilling to choose truth over these lies. It's heartbreaking in reality. It's heartbreaking. Daniel, we really hope that you will knock this nonsense off and stop propagating lies and start to accept truth.
Okay, so let's go more in depth on the Islamic dilemma. What is exactly this dilemma? Like, why is this becoming such a big deal, a big issue? And tomorrow, inshallah, I'm also going to do a stream with Paul Williams of Blogging Theology.
And
this is like the third interview that we're going to have, inshallah. I really like Paul. And
I don't like Paul too much.
Don't let Paul hear.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You're only doing it with Paul because no one else will touch you with the 10-foot pole. So, yeah, we have an issue there, Haqiqatjou.
Obviously, he's extremely knowledgeable about the Bible and Christian history and theology. So we're going to get into more of that aspect of things tomorrow, inshallah. So you can go, it's going to be a live stream as well. You can go to Blogging Theology now and subscribe and set notifications so you'll be notified when that stream goes live. It'll be about the same time as now, or an hour earlier than right now, tomorrow. So in about a little bit over 24 hours. So check that out.
Yes, and if anyone in the chat is not familiar with him, he is the guy who keeps leaving Islam in order to go be with his gay lover and then come back and repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. So, yes.
Yeah. But has the nerve to criticize some people who call themselves Christians for disregarding the comments in the Bible against homosexuality. And yet that's what Paul goes to immediately. It's like, wait, what?
Christians will say, oh, homosexuality is a sin just like any other. You need to repent of it. It is destructive to the body. Oh, wait, Muslims will just throw you off building tops.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. We're not talking apples to apples.
With Paul Williams of Blogging Theology. But what is the significance of the Islamic dilemma? You see so many of the Christian apologists.
We are 22 minutes into this, and we are now getting to where he's actually talking about the debate instead of whining about everything. So let's see what powerful insights he has.
Just now, they use this dilemma. And if you go back to my debates that I have had with David Wood, also with Jay Dyer, Sam Shamoon, the debates that I've had, they always bring this up. Like, this is a recurring thing that they bring up. They might not call it the Islamic dilemma, but they always make this point. Like, well, Daniel, you have this criticism of the Trinity. You have this criticism of the Old Testament and the different kinds of laws in the Old Testament that don't meet the standards of modern human rights law.
Yes, such as most of Sharia. And oh, how dare we bring up these things? Well, let's skip a little bit because we are reviewing what he says about the conference itself, not so much his views on it. Again, he mischaracterizes what we're actually bringing forth.
If you want to hear him talk about the Islamic dilemma, go watch the debate. You'll hear him argue against the Islamic dilemma, supposedly.
Hey, then it's easy to debunk it. It's easy to refute it.
Then why didn't
But
you?
if you don't understand exactly what they're saying,
Well, what he does in this live stream is he brings up different examples of how he could have debunked it. But the reason why he didn't use it is because those are extremely stupid arguments. And David would have torn them apart in about 5 seconds. So he went with what he perceived to be the strongest argument, which ended up getting torn apart in about 5 seconds.
and you go into a debate or you go into an argument, then you'll trip up or you'll have difficulty responding to the nonsense that they keep spewing. So this is the nature of the Islamic dilemma. And we'll go into more depth into what exactly they're saying and how is it so easily refuted. Because in this debate, I only had 20 minutes to present. And so,
which he agreed to, and he wanted, and he begged for more time.
Yeah.
He could have said 25. He could have said 30.
Could have said 45. But listen to what he says right after this.
I can't really present everything, all of the arguments that could be made against the Islamic dilemma. I'm not going to present everything either today for this live stream, but I'll give you more.
He literally
and
has
we can go through that.
as much time right now as he wants.
Also,
he doesn't want to go through
there
it.
was a huge
There's
response from the Christians.
That he wanted.
So let me share the screen.
I love this part. This part's good. This part is him whining a lot.
So
his label's panic mode.
The debate happened on Sunday. Today is Wednesday. By Monday evening, there were multiple streams reacting. You can see Apus did like two streams, one with Shamoon, one with David Wood himself, and a bunch of these other losers. This guy, Chef Logic, also did a stream separately, 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours with Shamoon. It was 3.5 hours with Googling Logic. It was 3 hours. So in total, like just with these 3 channels, that's what, 9 hours of.
So he's complaining about them being 3 hours long. L.
How long is this?
Is there anything you would like to point out? L.
Check out how long his live stream was.
His
3 hours and 18 minutes and 46 seconds. And he did 2 of them. He did this one, and he did the one with Paul Williams, which he promoted in this one.
Again, I don't have an issue with him doing that. But please, for the love of all humanity, don't complain about other people doing it and then do it yourself. The hypocrisy is so overwhelming with this one.
Not only that, I didn't watch all these live streams. I think I saw like a portion of 2 of them. I didn't see any of them like start to finish. So it's possible that someone said something that could be twisted completely out of proportion to sound like disappointment or frustration or something like that. But I didn't hear panic. I would be very surprised if there was any panic whatsoever from any of these people.
They're too busy laughing at Daniel's stupid arguments by what
Which
I saw.
people in person were doing too. He's like, this is such a hostile environment. I made everyone angry.
Oh, I was laughing over in the side.
So many people are just like busting off laughing because his arguments are ridiculous.
Definitely I was opening in the second one. I was over on the side, like I said, and I was busting up laughing because done all this build up. I was looking forward to his argument. What's his argument going to be? Okay, this ought to be interesting. So this is the best he's got.
Yeah.
This is where he's going with this. It was ridiculous.
But that said, if you want to say panic, what did we hear for the first 20-something minutes? They were mean to me. I want them to be mean to me. They're mean to me. I want them to be mean to me. And we should bully them. They bullied me. But we should bully them. Like, why not? What do you mean?
You might be a little bipolar here. You might have some mental issues you might want to get checked out on, including that laugh. Allegedly.
Of content, like 9 hours of reaction to what is me, like the content that I am presenting is just 20 minutes of content.
No.
2-3 hours and 18 minutes of content.
So I think he's trying to make the claim that this is all in reaction to 20 minutes that was in his opening statement at the debate. First of all, he had 2 debates. Second of all, it was 20-minute openings, 12-minute first rebuttal, 8-minute second rebuttal, 5-minute closings. And then a lot of Q&A, which he complained about how long the Q&A was, which he was under no obligation to have to continue. But I let James know, like, hey, like, if you guys want to keep going, you can. But yeah, there was a lot of content that people were responding to. There were hours of content from Haqiqatjou that they were responding to, not just 20 minutes.
A lot of accusations. And it's very telling. Because again, even as you look at the rows of people who are lining up, you had a long line of Christians who had questions for Haqiqatjou because he's making all these accusations against these Christians left and right. And then you got like 3 Muslims. And that was it. Bit of an issue. Now, thank you, Jack Ray, for the 5 gifted Your Brother in Christ memberships. I do not have the wheel of penalty with me today, but that will be something I'll have to grab later on. It's not my normal setup today, so I had to change things up.
Yaya says, care about him being saved. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yaya says, pray Jesus appears in his dreams. Absolutely. That's what I've been saying all throughout this live
stream. Saying that multiple times.
Everyone who's watching this right now, pray for Daniel. Lord, God of heaven and earth, please bring Daniel to you. Show him truth. Show him your love. Show him your light. Bring him out of the darkness. Let him reject the darkness and come to your light and reflect your light. Please, Lord God. That is our prayer because we want him to have truth. But yeah, he doesn't want to have truth right now, and that's heartbreaking.
Question, did Daniel make small talk? No. He said, nice hat. And that was it. That's all he said, other than, no, he said, I'm good when I asked him if he needed anything. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all. And then he was out. He ditched as fast as humanly possible to get out of that building. He wanted to get out.
Yeah. Hatun tried to have a conversation with him too. He just took off on that conversation, made false claims, and literally bolted away. Like
he's running. He's running from Hatun. He can't handle it. Let's be honest, that's what they would say, but I'm going to be a little more charitable and think he has to go to poop really bad. That's what I think. But if he wants to say that I'm wrong and that he was actually running from Hatun, that's fine too.
Within less than 48 hours, they're putting out 9 hours of reaction to that. And they're still doing reactions.
Yes.
And they're going to react to this. Relevant? And they're going to, so this is, what do you describe this? And
the best thing for you at this point, because the debates did not go the way you wanted, but all the attention you're getting is exactly what you wanted. Because if not, then you are literally dying as far as the channel goes. You're losing it.
You're known as the shark apologist. You want to be relevant. You want to be talked about.
It's so stupid hearing them talk, hearing, especially this Googling philosophy, the stream that they did. They're just sitting and giggling and, oh, Daniel doesn't understand. Daniel doesn't understand. Daniel is so stupid. Yeah. Daniel. This is what you say after every debate. Every debate.
Well, let's be honest. He's the one up there on stage telling everyone around him, you're too stupid. You're a moron. You're an idiot. You're retarded. This is just all retarded, man. I just can't do this. It's all stupid. It's like, dude, they're laughing at you because you're making stupid claims and you're not even keeping track of your own topic anymore. You're going off into la la land. So yeah, they're kind of laughing at that. I thought they were panicking though.
That's what my question was going to be. If they're like in just complete panic, why are they giggling?
Why are they laughing? Yeah.
And it's not nervous laughter either. Like, a lot of Daniel's laughter sounds super nervous, but giggling is not what I would refer to as panicking.
So we got a super chat here.
Nate P says, Lord Jesus, please open Daniel's eyes and ears. Thank you both for the stream and for hosting that conference.
Absolutely. That is our intent. I want him to enter into the kingdom of heaven with me as a fellow brother in Christ. That's my desire, no matter what his positions are currently, no matter if that very act, according to him, should get me executed.
And the way their reactions after every debate are the same. So after I debated Apus that first time, and he had a reaction stream almost immediately after the debate. I think that was also within 24 hours. The one where he had a panic attack and he's like, freaking out on the stream. That in that stream, he was also saying things like, well, of course, Daniel is so stupid. Daniel is defending apostasy punishments. So clearly he lost. Daniel defended apostasy punishments and hudud. So clearly Daniel lost. Daniel is defending lashing and capital punishment. So clearly Daniel lost.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why did I lose?
I think he's
like
just
that
a little butthurt that he didn't get off the stream first. That he wasn't able to spin it the way he wanted to spin it before everyone else did. And since we were able to get to it first, now he's sitting there, oh, the other man, run at me. 9 hours of laughter at you. Yeah. It was that bad of a debate. You did that badly.
was the contention that you made initially, that if you support Sharia law, Islamic law, then you are a barbarian and you are irrational and you are driven by hatred and intolerance and blah, blah, blah. And I presented in that 4-hour stream arguments showing that that's not the case. And in fact, your position is based on stupidity, irrationality, immorality, even genocide. Like, that's the kind of arguments that I make.
The Quran literally calls for genocide.
And Daniel literally is admitting that he wants capital punishment. He supports capital punishment. Islam promotes capital punishment. But Christians, I don't know, were heckling him. That's his apples to apples. He wants capital punishment and Christians
cut off your head on one side. You say something a little uncomfortable.
Christians say chapter and verse. Daniel Haqiqatjou says off with your head. One of these things is not like the other. What on earth?
And then your response, like your assessment of that conversation, is just to repeat the initial thing that was at question. Your initial claim, your initial point that I just spent 4 hours debunking. Same thing with this.
Oops. Okay, so this is the length of Daniel's research, I guess, is, God Logic Stream was not even about, yeah, you're right, because that one there wasn't even about it was open call-in. I did sneak in for that one for a little bit. So, yeah, that one wasn't even about this live stream. Yet he's making it about his debate and claiming it. He didn't do any research even into this. I question everything about him claiming he's done research.
Yeah, he calls him Google Logic. Or Googling Logic or something like that. When he did zero research into it, yeah.
Well, I think it was IP.
He called them both. He called him Google Logic or Googling Logic, and then he called Inspiring Philosophy Googling Philosophy or something like that. Like, it's just like Google's his go-to, even though he can't even do like a basic Google on some of these things.
This is your brain on Islam. Don't do it, boys and girls.
Googling philosophy. He does these post-debate streams and says, Daniel says minor marriage is allowed. So he clearly lost.
Did what?
He literally did. So, yes, you did. That's not in question.
That was your whole contention, that minor marriage is immoral, blah, blah, blah. And then I presented an argument to respond to it. And rather than respond to what I have presented and try to think through it or steel man my position to try to understand what I'm arguing, the evidence that I'm bringing up, you're not able to think through that, whether it's an IQ problem or whatever. You can only repeat your initial claim.
If you don't understand and you're mischaracterizing their initial claim, they're going to restate it. This is how conversations work. If I say the sky is blue, and then Haqiqatjou over there starts going off and acting like the sky, I said the sky is red, then I'll say, no, I said the sky is blue. That doesn't mean I have some intellectual issue. If you're saying that this is happening all over the place, it's probably a problem with you.
Not only that, but if Daniel in the debate says marriage to an 11-month-old is okay because if there are signs of maturity, it's okay. And just as like a bonus, like whatever, to wave it off as if it doesn't even matter at all, parents are involved at that age. If that's what Daniel says, and Christians are like, this shows Islam is evil because this is what Daniel says, which represents what Islam says. Frankly, in Islam, there is no minimum age. You could be an infant with no signs of physical maturity because there's Sharia law about how you can't accuse an infant of cheating on you because they're not capable of cheating on you. There would have to be somebody else involved in order to make that happen. Clearly. If you marry an infant and she's your wife and you consummate sex with her, like, it's just like, anyway. So, Christians recapping how Daniel is highlighting the evils of Islam. Does that mean Christians are like incompetent? And why is it the Christian's job to steelman your position?
Because he's the Muslim. That's why. And yes, Nate is absolutely right. Then Daniel would just complain that Daniel's already said that the sky was red. So yeah, he would complain that I'm heckling him because I restate my original position. Is he actually did that with some of the people who were asking the questions. I think it was with Anthony Rogers, that he said, well, what about, you're talking about all these consistent things. What about God being referred to as Father in the Bible? That would be a consistent thing through the Old and New Testament. Why isn't that something that Islam supports? Well, it's not about the Trinity. Anthony didn't say anything about the Trinity, but yet Haqiqatjou just went off on this Trinity rant. It's like, no, this is what I'm saying. Oh, you're harassing me. No, I'm just clarifying because it's obvious that you don't understand basic English.
Not only that, but he's saying, again, he's making this claim against Christians. Christians only do XYZ. They never steelman my positions. And that's what makes me so much greater than everybody else. All these other debaters don't do a good job with steelmanning their opponents. Well, where on earth did Daniel steelman anyone else's positions? He didn't even understand our positions at all.
Not at all.
But he's bragging about, oh, he's so great because he does this and not enough other people do it. What on earth?
Yeah, it's not about the Trinity. The question was not about the Trinity. The Trinity was off topic from the question. The question was just on God being called Father. That's it. Not about the Trinity.
But Nate P is pointing out, this is about the Jews. Yeah, yes. In a debate on Islam or Christianity. It's about the Jews.
That was all it was. It's like, there's actually nothing here for David even to refute.
And say, oh, well, you lost because you think minor marriage is allowed. So you lost.
If that's a debate topic, then yes, you would. Just like you didn't realize at the debate, you lost the debate when you answered my question. And you looked at this, I don't understand how this is relevant. It's very clear that you didn't care about the debate.
Same thing with this debate. Same thing. Daniel doesn't get the dilemma. The Quran is confirming. It's confirming the Bible. It's confirming, but it also contradicts. Daniel lost.
Yes, that's how that works.
It's a lack of ability to understand. I mean, it is an intelligence problem because
understand.
you have to have a certain level of IQ to be able to think or put yourself in another person's shoes and think about what they're arguing. Like, what are they arguing from their perspective? Like, why does this make sense for them?
And that's something you're completely incapable of doing. You showed that. Oh, man.
Why does this make sense? Why does this act like this criticism of Sharia law or minor marriage or jihad and warfare, like conquest in Islam, like when they're criticizing those doctrines within Islam, like let me put myself in their perspective and assume what they're assuming and see how that makes sense.
Which you don't do because you don't even understand their basic arguments at all. You don't even understand the Christian basic argument because you definitely would not have opened up your beginning by how dare these Christians love the unbelievers? How dare they love those who persecute them? Is that respectful to Jesus? And it's like all David's reply was, Christians in the audience, is it respectful? Yes. The chat, I was watching the chat on the live debate, and it's like, yes, 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 yes. No kidding.
That is a requisite. That is a prerequisite for being able to debunk people or being able to refute people. You have to give their side a fair shot by accurately representing their position and trying to make the most sense of it. Trying to make the most sense of it. Otherwise, why engage with someone in a debate or even a conversation or even in dawah?
So how exactly did you do that in the second debate? Because you didn't even address any of the actual position, because it wasn't do Christians currently respect Jesus more than Muslims currently. No.
It's Christianity.
It was Christianity.
And Islam.
So the Christian doctrines are what you're actually dealing with, and you didn't even try.
You, from the start, assume that the person is so irrational and is so impossible, like their beliefs are just based on random thoughts without any kind of coherence or internal coherence or any type of perspective. Like it makes sense to them, even though it's completely stupid and wrong. It makes sense on some level to them. So let me try to understand that. Let me try to put myself in their shoes, in their head.
Sorry, you're too busy telling everyone they're a moron and you are so much more intelligent than they are for you to ever be able to put yourself into anyone else's shoes.
If that's not the case, then why would I even talk to you? Why would I even debate with you? The whole purpose of debate, even if it's not the person I'm debating, but the people who are listening, it's with the assumption that I can see things from your perspective and I can explain from your perspective and what you presume why that's wrong.
Did you do that in the second debate at all? No. Did you do that in the first debate at all? No.
Is that why you called the audience autistic, baldies, Mossad agents, token brown people? What on earth? Yeah.
But this is what he gives to his audience.
For A, B, C, D reasons. Like that's argumentation. Most of the people that I debate, they don't have this ability. They don't, and the biggest proof of that is that when I present the argument, their response is just to repeat their own initial claim. Their response is just to say, like, "Oh, you're wrong because you believe minor marriage is moral, or that apostasy punishment is moral. So that therefore you're wrong." It's like, just take a second. Okay, you think it's wrong, it's immoral. Try to put yourself in my shoes and think about what I'm saying and the reasons that I'm giving. And at a certain point, you can even...
Again, not what you do. You demand other people do this, but not what you do. Let me see if I can get to any of the other actual relevant parts here, because now he's just meandering.
So he goes off on Christians for responding to him.
And now it goes to Muslims. So let's listen to his Muslims response. Let's see if these Muslims actually have a good point.
Come out. And Farid, of course, has to subtweet. He blocks me, but he's constantly tweeting about me. It's like A lot in common with David Wood, actually, when you think about it. But he says, David Wood argues that the Prophet, peace be upon him, and Ibn Abbas affirm the Bible. These two videos from my playlist refute both attributions. Muslims should familiarize themselves with responses to avoid getting caught with their pants down during debate.
Okay. Is anything that Farid said targeting Daniel directly? I can't see when this was posted.
Daniel.
I can't see when this was posted.
It was August 4th.
August 4th.
Well, I don't know what time zone this would be from, but it says 11:09 a.m. on August 4th.
So that would be, if memory serves, before the debate.
No, the debate was August 3rd.
August 3rd. Okay, so it's right after the debate. He posted it. Okay, so yes. In this case, it might be a slight to him, but he didn't call him out directly. He's just saying, hey, you know, maybe Muslims should watch my videos and make sure that they don't get caught with their pants down in debates, hypothetically speaking. Yes, it could apply to you. But when you are Daniel, everyone has got to be talking about you.
So Farid has to come out and side with the Christians. And
he did not side with the Christians at all.
He said David Wood is wrong and that he's already refuted David Wood. How's this siding with the Christians?
Nope, but they're siding against, he's not supporting him. So therefore, they must automatically be siding with the Christians.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because there's no other group.
On me and criticize me. Typical Wahhabi behavior. Wahhabis being Wahhabis. Side with Christians and stab Muslims in the back. This is
again. Where is he saying? Now, you could say, well, he kind of implies that he got caught with his pants down. Therefore, he thinks David had a better argument. Or he just thought your argument sucked. That's it.
Yeah.
And that he could have easily refuted David in these other ones. Now, again, David has an open invite out to Farid saying, hey, come do a debate on me on the same topic. I'll use the same slides. Let's go. I don't think he'll take it, but the offer is there.
This is what we expect. We've seen from Wahhabis historically. We've seen it from Ibn Abdul Wahhab himself, the teacher of Farid. And his followers exemplify exactly this behavior. Even to this day, we see Farid saying, I got caught with my pants down.
You definitely did in the first debate, bud. You were caught unaware. And there was no reason for you to be caught unaware. David used the same exact arguments I've seen him use time and time and time again for years. There was no reason for you to be caught unaware. You had his game plan, and you chose to not do anything with it.
I don't know why the Wahhabis love this expression. Farid says this. Also, Jake says this. They love talking about me getting caught with my pants down. Like, is this an appropriate thing to say to a Muslim?
The idiom, yes, it is an appropriate thing to say. If someone is caught unaware, it is a phrase that could be used. The very fact that it annoys you more is probably why I put it in the description, just hypothetically speaking.
Especially in context of a Muslim debating Christians, not just Christians, but the most vile Christians who are insulting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, spreading the most vile lies.
I didn't think I heard David insult Muhammad at all during the debate. Even while Haqiqatjou was insulting everyone else around him, including Jesus, including Mary, I don't remember. Now, I could be wrong. I might have been distracted by too much laughter.
It's possible he said something like Muhammad is a false prophet, which of course would be seen as an insult, although it's the truth, so...
And we would consider them referring to Jesus as just a prophet as an insult as well.
Yeah.
So let's be honest here.
But for, like, the things that David says, yeah, he was very tame to my memory. So...
Against the Prophet.
Okay.
You did get a super chat. Johnny the Gringo 88 says, thanks for all you did. My question after the second debate was more relevant for the first one. Figured if Daniel wasn't on topic, I didn't need to be.
Well, he complains. So after rewatching it, he starts complaining after the Q&A about, oh, they're just asking me questions about Islam. They're not even asking me questions about anything on topic. I'm like, that's because you weren't on topic at all.
Topic is Islam versus Christianity.
You literally deep sixed the topic in order to rant about what you wanted, and then you complain that no one was asking you about the things that you talked about there because they're not being on topics. Dude, seriously.
Yeah.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they're really amping it up. Actually, the types of disgusting things that they're saying about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's actually shocking. And these are the
What, you didn't know anything about Al-Zut? So you can't be talking about Al-Zut? He specifically said when he was asked about Al-Zut, he said, I don't know anything about it. Unless he is talking about Al-Zut. In that case, he just lied to all the Christians there.
people that Farid wants to, rather than saying something against David Wood, he doesn't have to praise me.
He literally said he
doesn't even have to.
We're right there.
David Wood argues the Prophet, Papa, and Ibn Abbas affirm the Bible. These two videos from my playlist refute both attributions.
So, yes, he says he's refuting David right here. Granted, they're not very good. But he is saying he's not with David at all. He's refuting him.
He doesn't. He fails to refute David, but he claims to. That's not siding with the Christians. That's not. Yeah, this is just ridiculous.
To say anything positive about me. He can just say, why not point out something that David got wrong? Why not point out something that David...
You mean like making two videos and putting them into a playlist? You mean something like that?
Screenshotting it, calling attention to it, making a post about it. Yeah.
Lied about. Instead of saying that I got caught with my pants down.
David
Like,
Wood
that's
name by name.
Read.
You are not.
Yeah. Not at all. You're implied, but that's it.
Just has to take a shot at me.
No.
It's all about him. It's all about poor Daniel. Poor Daniel getting attacked. Poor Daniel getting attacked by the Christians at the debate. They wanted to physically harm me, but they didn't, and they offered me food, and they made sure I had drinks, and they made sure I wasn't thirsty in any way, shape, or form, and they made sure I had time to pray, and they made sure. But they were mean to me after I literally attacked them verbally, repeatedly, after asking them a question.
What does that tell you about Farid? What does that tell you about Wahhabis? And especially using a vulgar expression like getting caught with my pants down. Here's Jake. Also, you got caught with your pants down.
Okay.
Now, Jake did.
This
name
is
him by
calling
name,
him out.
yeah.
This is definitely, Jake is definitely calling him out. Now, again, I think Jake is right. That's weird. That feels weird. But you guys might take note of this. Farid Responds and Jake, the Muslim metaphysician, are right in this case. I'm going to be honest, I felt weird. But they're right. Gotta call it out when I see it.
Because of my response to him. Like, they just love this expression. Like, why are you talking about me getting caught with my pants down? And then also remember Jake.
So
that was not enough time to read that.
Well, so Jake's comment, if you did read it, Jake's thing is that Daniel Haqiqatjou lies. He says something, and then he says the opposite.
Here's Jake.
So he says, hey, Dan at Haqiqatjou, I'd suggest you stop barking until you can tell us why you contradicted yourself several times in such a short amount of time on whether a creative being controlling the entire universe is shirk or not. You implied it wasn't, then explicitly stated it is major kufr after being pressed and told that it is. And now you've backtracked saying that it's not major shirk or kufr. Your current position is kufr itself. So you should worry about yourself before asking me about others. Your only response was a meme mocking me because you know you got caught with your pants down.
Now, this being said, this is coming right after in a response video of a debate where Daniel literally said he was debating one topic and then changed the topic. So he said he was going to do X. He lied to the moderator. He lied to the person he was debating. He lied to the hosts of this organization. He lied through us to the actual venue because they were keeping track of everything and make sure everything was in line with them theologically. So through all of those, he lied to all of those people as well as everyone we advertised it to that this was going to be the topic. And here's Jake calling him out for lying
On something else, because he lies about
Something else.
so many different things.
but it's in line with what he just did, and he's proud of it. Daniel Haqiqatjou is proud of this.
He likes making Christians mad at him, which he has an overinflated ego thinking, yeah, what he does, but whatever.
Also, you got caught with your pants down because of my response to him. Like, they just love this expression. Like, why are you talking about me getting caught with my pants down? And then also remember Jake himself with the fresh and fit debate, me and Ijaz versus Shamoon and Jay Dyer. Jake also comes out and says, yeah, you got destroyed. Like, yeah, you got stomped in that. Like, he has to come out. And the whole situation of that debate, like, it's so shameful for Jake of all people to come out and say that, oh, you got stomped. First of all, where did we get stomped in that?
Okay, now he's just whining again.
About Muslims, though.
So we're 40 minutes into this. I mean, I've yet to see him use any clips from the actual debate, going over any of David's points they brought up. Instead, he just talks about it vaguely and makes claims. That being said, I think that's about it for where we need to cover, because, again, the point of this live stream was to cover the lies that he put forth about the Seek and Share Truth conference itself, which were absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he made false claims about us as the organizers. He made false claims about the venue. He made false claims about the audience. He made false claims about David. He made false claims about AP. He made false claims about so many people.
He would have made false. If the false claims he put against the audience would also have applied to the moderator himself.
Yeah, no, he tried to say, oh, it wasn't James' fault. Like, okay, yeah, James is a human being. Am I saying
James is, to my knowledge, a Christian? And he condemned, basically, in his rants, he condemned all Christians.
James works very hard to try to make modern day debate an open, neutral platform. To the point where James actually, I'm not saying this is right, and people call James out for this, but James goes an extra step against Christians. He'll hold Christians more accountable than he will, say, Daniel Haqiqatjou. And we saw this because, as Daniel said, he wants the last word on everything. He loves riling up Christians as long as he gets the last word. And he did.
Got the last word about
on everything.
Situation.
James went so far out of his way to make sure Haqiqatjou got extra special privileges that the Christians didn't. So is James completely fair and unbiased and neutral? No. Again, he's a human. But yeah, he's just like Daniel, just like making all these false claims against everybody else, against Muslims, against Christians.
In the situations that James was in, it's hard in that situation to make the call that everyone will agree with in the future. You have to make the call there and then to the best of your knowledge. And again, I didn't see the amount of how much Haqiqatjou got to backlash, how much he got to talk over, how much he got to run the show. In fact, even got out there and specifically started spouting off against James. He specifically even attacked
he actually did.
James.
Yeah, which was completely
at least
inappropriate.
Two spots in the first debate, he attacks James. It's like, who's the speaker here? You or me? It's like, dude, no, that's out of line. And then on top of that, at the end of the second debate there, yes, it went along with the Q&A. At any point, Haqiqatjou could have asked for it to be over. He never did. But then he just basically rage quits there at the end. If you pay attention to the end of that one, which will be going out here in about half an hour on the Act 17 polemics, at the very end of that Q&A, Daniel just, I'm done. I'm done. I quit. I'm done. Brandon, yes, you were supposed to be, at least at some point, that was not supposed to be as long of a Q&A as it was. There were many questions that Haqiqatjou himself riled up. But he just quits at that point and shuts his computer and doesn't even wait for James to reply on, yes, you're done. No, I'm done. I'm leaving. The end. So that is the conclusion there. I figured that we should definitely at least refute the claims that Haqiqatjou was making, that these false accusations, address them, let you guys know what was going on behind the scenes of it. If you have any questions, throw those into the chat real quick, because we might be wrapping up here shortly if we don't have any questions. But just as a wrap up from the conference itself, from our perspective, I think it went very well. I think the outreach was fantastic. We were able to split into 3 groups. We went to 2 different mosques, and then we went to bus stop, had wonderful conversations by the people who went to the mosques, other than the person who had to remind the Muslims not to punch the Christians, because after all, at every church, if there's ever anyone outside who doesn't believe in Christianity, the pastor definitely has to get up front and tell everyone not to punch the non-believers.
Never once heard that.
No, never once. But it did sound like there were a couple people at the actual mosques that had very good conversations. And then there were some at the bus stops that had good conversations as well. So it was a fantastic time. All in all, we were able to outreach together. We were able to just be in the body of Christ together. As far as the conference goes itself, it was wonderful to see everyone there, just having fellowship. It's one of the things that I like about our conference that you sometimes get with other ones, but I want to make sure that we have plenty of it. There is just the time for fellowship, the time to just be there, talk, and get to know each other and hang out. And yes, Haqiqatjou is definitely in person, he's very arrogant. He's very prideful by what he was saying. The people who would stay around and chat with the Muslims and chat with the Christians afterwards were David was there the entire time. The other speakers from the conference were there the entire time. Haqiqatjou was literally in and out, bare minimum time there as possible. That was my opinion on it. Elle, what is yours?
Yeah, it is interesting. Of course, as Christians, again, the purpose is to help people find truth. It's seek and share truth. It's the Seek and Share Truth conference. So it's awesome to have good fellowship with Christians. It's awesome to have interfaith discussions with non-Christians, to hear them out, to hear what they have to say, to not get into these hostile environments, but to provide a good environment that isn't hostile, so we can evaluate what is the truth, what are your beliefs, what are your thoughts, why do you believe what you believe. I mean, that was my question after the debates were done to a Muslim. I said, why are you a Muslim? Why did you choose Islam? And then we started a conversation, started hearing what he had to say. And lots of other people ended up joining into that conversation and hearing about why people believe what they believe. And lots of other conversations were happening dealing with Islam. And obviously that's the point of the mosque outreaches as well, is to help people seek and share truth. And so even though Daniel at this point sadly does not seem interested in those pursuits, it is very grateful. I am very grateful for those who are still willing to seek and share truth. And again, guys, be praying for each person who was there, who was watching online, people in general. We all need Jesus Christ as God, as the Savior. Yeah, so Lord willing, we're grateful to be a part of that journey, how we can, in his timing, in his ways. And it's not like we're perfect either, but we're trying to be a reflection of his light and of his love, and to call out the lies where they are. And yeah, as far as lies go, the other Muslim Dawa dudes, they were right when they call Haqiqatjou a pretty big liar.
Yeah.
They recognize that even David Wood himself is not a liar, but Daniel Haqiqatjou is.
David Wood, who eats the Quran, is not as bad as Haqiqatjou. That's bad
From a Muslim
perspective. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. So real quick here, I think there is a couple of quick chat that I want to pull up. Nate said next year I am 1,000% saving room.
Saving for a room so I can be there every day.
Yes, absolutely. Would love to see you there. That'd be fantastic. We are planning, at least at this point, to doing it again next year. We're hoping to streamline the things that are behind the scenes so that we get it out sooner to you guys. There's a lot that is done behind the scenes, unfortunately, that needs to get done in order for us even to say, here, sign up. Here's the free tickets for you guys to have. So there's a lot. So thank you for...
I'm assuming that's in regards to the conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Agent Carolina says, bye, Elle. Thank you for hosting.
Thank you for coming. That was great. I am so glad for every single person, Christian, Muslim, or atheist, who ever joined us at this conference. I am grateful that they took time and came and joined us, even if it was just for the food. But I'm glad they came because it was a pleasure. And that's really, in my book, the highlight of this conference for me was getting to know each one of you guys, getting to know your story, and just being with you. So with that, is there any final words, my wonderful wife, that you would like to plug before we call it adieu?
I would say if you guys have not yet seen this conference, make sure to check out on my channel. Hopefully one of the mods can post a link real quick to the playlist for the Seek and Share Truth conference. This year is the 2025 free Seek and Share Truth conference playlist. And we are adding a moderator right now to be able to hopefully do that. Chicken Grease, if you would like to be a moderator, if you could share that.
Why are you asking? It's too late.
Yeah, you're already a moderator, but you are a moderator. If you would like to share that conference link for us, we'd greatly appreciate it. Stay tuned. We are still in the process of figuring out the details for next year. But yeah, that playlist will have all of the live streams that we did during the conference, but then also the uploaded debates that will be on Act 17 Polemics, that are on Act 17 Polemics, and then also the uploads that we'll be doing, Lord willing, soon for the recorded sessions that were not live streamed. So think like the breakout sessions that were downstairs. Those were recorded, so hopefully those will be coming out soon. When they are, they'll be planned to be on that playlist as well. Yeah, and stay tuned for information about next year, because every year it gets so much better.
Oh yeah,
it's so
every
exciting
year we take it up a step up in every regard. And just as a final thing to Daniel Haqiqatjou, here's his X account, and just FYI, and oh, look at that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh man. Oh, it seems he was blocked. That's inconvenient.
On that note, if you guys don't mind subscribing to us, your brother in Christ, and El Iso Elohim, we have lots of other content to help you guys seek and share truth together better than ever before, and to join us on this journey to do so. Not just the conference, obviously, as epic as the conference is, it's once a year, but we are frequently working on putting out content to help you guys join us on this journey throughout the year. So we'd love to have you with us if you aren't already.
Mentioned that at the church that we're at was very
it was beautiful.
Stonework, just
I love
so
the
nice.
Woodwork and the lights
Woodwork.
on the wood. Yeah, so pretty.
It's a very pretty church. I'm glad they were willing to host. So fantastic. Yep, sub and like. And until next time, I have one final message for Daniel Haqiqatjou. But to all the people in the audience, God bless and Dios Volt.
I'm honored to present to all you beautiful people with this dope track featuring David Wood, a.k.a. The Dizzle. Buckle up and enjoy the ride, ladies and gentlemen.
You're not getting Israel. Not getting Israel. You're not getting Israel. Not getting Israel. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not on a boat. Not with a goat. Not in a house. Not with a mouse. Take the L and do something constructive. Take the L with your lie. You're not getting Israel. Not getting Israel. You're not getting Israel. Not getting Israel. Not getting Israel. Not getting Israel. You're not getting Israel. Not getting Israel. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not on a boat. Not with a goat. Not in a house. Not with a mouse.
I think that, damn it, I forgot what I was going to say.
Get the hell out of here, Biden. Let me take over and show you how it's done. I'm with my boys, and I'm about to drop some bombs. I mean bars on these fools. Listen up, Mr. Trump's on the mic. When Sal's on the beat, gonna set things right. Listen to the Dizzle, feel the beat. Trump Wood, Sal, can't be beat. We're here to rap, here to play, bring in the heat in a major way. Bring in the heat in a major way.
That's right. My name is Joe Biden, and I approve this beat.
Listen to the Dizzle, listen to the Dizzle, listen to the Dizzle.
Might I suggest using some of that high-octane protest energy of yours to call on Hamas to release the hostages and surrender. Release the hostages and surrender. Release the hostages and surrender. Release the hostages and surrender.
That boy Sal will be coming up with some slappers.